Disclaimer. The opinions and speculations presented in discussions about true crime are based on available information, public records, and individual perspectives. They do not constitute factual claims or legal conclusions. Content provided is for entertainment purposes only.
Hey baby, wake up from your asleep. We have arrived onto the future and the whole world is become electronic.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! Order in the court!
Hey guys, welcome to Strange Suspicion. If you are new here, my name is Pia and I am wearing makeup and contacts for the reason of blocking facial recognition. So if anybody wants to have any questions for us or anything, just feel free to type them in the chat. But for right now, I just wanted to lay down some ground rules. And there aren't very many rules to this community, but there are 3 rules. No politics, no religion, and no disrespect. If you don't agree with somebody on panel, just politely disagree or just don't type at all. I see a lot of disrespect in the communities, and I prefer that when we as a community meet, that we are absolutely respectful to one another. So if you guys can all agree to that, then we can get started. Let me see what, I'm having a hard time reading the chat. So first live, awesome. Hi, Misconduct and Jane. I see you guys. Eagle Eye. Okay. So we have been discussing the Bryan Kohberger case, right? And I have a few things that I wanted to discuss today with both you and some people on the panel. There is a new channel that has come out and has played some of my content. And he's really new, but I feel like he deserves a little bit of attention. You know, I got a lot of attention in my first 4 months. So I'm going to bring up Robert from True Crime Cult. Is that what we just pushed on? Are you there, Robert? Oh, looks like Robert's having a little trouble.
Yeah. Want to bring Gia on?
Yeah, we'll bring Gia on.
Gia, are you okay if we bring you on?
Are you ready to come on? Can't.
Okay.
Okay, so Gia's there. She's ready.
Hey,
how's it going?
I'm ready.
Yeah. How was your day?
Good. I was just saying to you, I'm like, I'm just going to hang backstage till you're ready for me. So that worked out well.
Well, I caught your last video. It was really, really good. And
thanks.
you and both Swamp Rose and you are very, very respectful. I really, really appreciate that. There's been a lot of rudeness going on, and I think it's completely unnecessary.
I agree with you on that. There's no reason for it. We were just, Kiki and I were just talking before and saying, same with you. You know, you really run a respectful channel, and it's just so much more pleasant for everybody if people are kind and considerate and stick to the subject matter too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree. But As you know, we've been having a lot of trouble in the community. I prefer to focus just on true crime, but a lot of people are focusing on like people taking other people's videos and people talking about other people. I just try to ignore it. I'm sure you guys do the same thing.
Yeah, we do. And you know, Kiki's husband is my brother. So
Yeah.
the reason, like, we were asking, like, because he kept saying, what, because, you know, we enjoy watching everything and all of the channels. And so he was just sort of like, what's going on with Drip Drop? Like, he's been, you know, not, he's there, but just not talking about the Idaho 4. And so he was just like so curious, he couldn't stand it. So he finally did a little bit with Kiki, and yeah.
I love his opinion.
Joe, yeah.
Bob loves watching Joe.
Oh.
As soon as he saw he was on there, he clicked on it right away. He's like, I love her husband. I'm like, great.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he seems like really, really smart guy. And I wonder the same thing about Drip Drop, but I'm a paid member of his community and he hasn't said anything to any of us except he's working on a new video.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I noticed he's putting out a lot more long content, so that might be the reason for the wait. That's my guess.
You know, and he could be just working on something really special, and he's, you know, really prepping it and getting it up to par, and, you know, and it, like a lot of people have said, we're talking about it, but, you know, there hasn't been a whole lot of new stuff. And I think a lot of people are kind of staying idle until the trial a little bit. And probably to your point, that's why they're going off on some tangents and talking about things that, you know, aren't always
true crime related.
Right. Or necessary.
Yeah, and I notice a lot of people get super, super emotional when they think that their point is the only right point, and they'll tell you you're wrong. But what I noticed is like you and Swamp Kiki, that you guys both always say alleged. You always say both sides of the story because it's important, I think, to remain unbiased. So
yeah,
I really, really enjoy your channel so much. And you have a channel too, right?
I do. We kind of started that to like get it up and going. I'm mostly on her channel, but mine is at Gia Peru.
Oh, at Gia Peru. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And you know, we're just trying to kind of build that out too. And you know.
So do you have a legal background, or you just
Yeah, well, yeah, I have a crazy background. I not to go off on a tangent, but I went through this divorce like 10 years ago and realized, boy, that really, you know, there needs to be a paraprofessional that's not an attorney that can help people.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh my God, it cost me an arm and a leg, and I didn't know what the lawyers were talking about, and they didn't want to include me on my case. And so I started up my own Divorce with Deb, I call it, divorce business. That's my legal name. And you know, so I going through that, and I said, how can I get even better? Because that's not my background. That was just my personal experience. So I went to school for 2 years and became a paralegal. So
wow.
And that was just to help me out with my clients that I coach. But I've learned, you know, it does give me a slight legal background. You know, I wouldn't say I would ever give a legal opinion because I'm not an attorney. I don't practice law. But I could provide insight sometimes. I know how to read some of the documents.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, there she is.
Hey, there she is.
Coming to you from Sydney, Australia. No.
Yeah, is that where you are?
Boston. Come on,
today. Oh, Boston. That's right, Boston. Yeah. We were just saying that Bob really, really likes it when you have your husband on your channel.
I wish you would come on more. Thank you for saying that, Bob. I appreciate it.
And yeah, no problem.
The more we ask him, the less he wants to do it.
Tell him he's got a fan.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan.
He's really smart too. I think all of you are very smart and very, very respectful. And I think that that's a big deal. I really do. I've noticed a lot of people aren't kind all the time. And they don't stay like I try to stay unbiased. You know, we're like, I have my own opinion about Bryan Kohberger, but I know other people have their opinions, and I try to see it their way too, because we don't really know. I mean, we don't know if he's involved at all.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Pia, because Kiki and I talk about this all the time, and that's why when we come on, we try to like address both sides of or even if there's more than two sides, and we really read the comments, and we like to see how people are thinking, and we don't come here like we're the be all and the end all. We're not it at all. We're just reacting and commenting and discussing and trying to keep the peace with everyone. And what we always say is trying to keep at the forefront the four victims. Like,
right, yeah,
just
right.
We always
Haley, Xana, Maddie, and Ethan. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be about. That's why I'm having trouble understanding why people get so upset with each other in the true crime, I guess, genre of YouTube, is that when you take into consideration that these 4 people died, the focus should be like, let's figure out what happened. And it really is hard, because when you go into like everybody's different channels, all their channels have different opinions, and everybody is like looking at different aspects of the case. But what do you guys feel is the biggest piece of like evidence that would make you sway innocent or guilty in your opinion?
What would it be right now?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Well, I'll say right now, with what we actually know, nothing. With what we actually have, I think it would be very easy to find him not guilty.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I do too.
Yeah. But I think there's a ton that's going to come out that's just buried under the gag order. And if we were privy to that, I think I would probably have an opinion one way or the other.
Do you have any opinion on who's under the gag order?
Well, everybody involved in the case, all the key witnesses, anyone who's related from a legal aspect, both the parties, their families. So just about anyone that would have information that would be helpful is under the gag order.
Right, because I was thinking the reason we don't hear anything about Jack Showalter, or if he is the hoodie guy, is that who the hoodie guy is? Jack Showalter?
Kiki, you probably know that.
Yeah.
I heard hoodie guy was Jack, but I can't confirm his last name, so I don't want to speak on that. But on the fact of the gag order, we were just talking about this earlier today. One of the things that I've noticed with my research is when I go back to reference certain things that I've researched online, I've noticed on Reddit, you can no longer find certain old posts. And so I started going into a few forums, and basically what they're saying is that all the posts that were posts associated with Dylan were taken down off of Reddit. And they didn't mention other platforms, but there are definitely forums mentioning this. So Gia and I were talking earlier, could this be part of the gag order? They did say there was a subpoena of Reddit. So could they have subpoenaed those, found that they're too close to the case, had them taken down due to the gag order, or, could the person themselves had posted something that they don't want known to the public. So that's what I've been thinking about with the gag order, at least today, and our preparing for our most recent show coming up.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kiki. Like we were saying, there's so many things I was looking at where they've said they've subpoenaed Reddit, they subpoenaed Amazon, they subpoenaed Walmart, they subpoenaed all these places and all these social media. And then they say in it, we got what we asked for. We received what was requested. And it's like, it kills you because you're going, well, can we see? I know we can't. It's under the gag order, but it would be so great if we could see
all the good stuff is under the gag order.
Everything. And
so I think YouTubers, not just YouTube, but actual YouTubers have been subpoenaed. It'd just be interesting who that is or what they're talking about.
Could be Drip Drop. That could
be Drip Drop. I was also thinking it could be
what?
Crime Design.
I'm gonna tell her. So when I was in this chat last time, he said, "Did you figure out the Idaho 4 case?" And I said, "No. Not yet." And he said, "I did." So I don't know. Wait, if he's under gag order.
Who said that? Chat? Oh, Drip Drop?
Drip Drop's chat. Yeah. The last video where I was chatting with him, he was like, he said, "Strange, did you figure out the Idaho 4 case yet?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Oh, that's too bad, I did." And I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
boy.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. But we were
That's
seriously
great.
thinking that, like, I couldn't
Yeah.
think of any other reason why he would stand down
Mm-hmm.
because that's not his style. And, you know, except for that if somehow he got pulled into the case and they said, you know, the gag order applies to you until the trial. I don't know. Because
Wow.
then probably he wouldn't even be able to tell his paid membership that. He wouldn't be able to. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Bob was coughing. He's a
Aw.
very, very good investigator. She said, aw. He's a very, very good investigator, and I think he makes really, really good videos. I think he may have been onto something, you know? And because he did say in one of his videos, he was like, if you want to tell me something about the case or tell the police something about the case, do not direct that to my channel. So I don't know if maybe they were watching him because people were saying he was in this video.
Interesting observation, Pia.
Yeah.
And
So
we have
he was
heard
saying the email. Sorry, Kiki.
No, go on. What
He
were
wanted
saying?
you to email it to him instead of in lieu of like putting it in the chat or anywhere on his channel.
I'm sorry. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
me?
Jake, can you repeat the
I was
question?
talking to Pia. No,
Oh,
I was
me? What
saying-
did you say?
I was saying, so Drip Drop was saying to you, don't put anything to my channel or on the comments or anything.
Yeah. He was saying that in the video. He was saying that if you guys have a tip, come to me. Do it to me. Don't call the cops and say, I figured this out. I figured that out. He's like, this is our community. It's for us. So and then he pointed out the fact that he brought up, what did he say? The tunnels. He said, I brought this up. And he's like, and after I brought this up, all of a sudden they started investigating that. And then I brought this up. And someone else started investigating that. Like the FBI or I assume the Moscow police.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to be talking to them.
no. And I guarantee you that they're looking at channels and they're reading the comments.
Mhm.
And you know,
Yeah, I know they are. Yeah.
absolutely. And
I would
Yeah.
I would take it even further. I've been convinced since the first podcast we've done that there is people interjecting into the comments from both sides of this case in some way. And I don't know
Yeah.
if that's on the family side or on the legal I don't know how that all works, but there's definitely some sort of PR. I've noticed it just strange things, you know. I'll just say after you see so many comments, you kind of gather a little bit of data in your head and you see the same people commenting on different channels. So I just would throw it out there. That's my personal feeling. I don't know that for a fact. So alleged.
Yeah.
Hey, AR.
Yeah.
Do you want to come on?
Is he in here?
I'll
yeah,
send
he's in the chat.
I'll send the link
wow.
again. I've been trying to interject and see if you want to come on, but
Sorry.
do you guys mind if we show some of your video?
We wanted to show a video of what you guys thought was happening on the second floor. It's called What Happened on the Second Floor.
Yeah, that was an
I just wanted to show like one little quick part.
Oh,
Sure.
of course. Please be my guest.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh no. It's okay. Okay.
Done.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
Okay. So when we were just watching that, we were wondering what your opinion on how the person got up to the second floor and the third floor.
I
Do you
couldn't
think
hear the video at all.
Oh no.
I don't know if
Really?
it was just me.
Did you guys hear the video? No sound, she said. What is going on?
So
Dang it.
I
Anyway.
use StreamYard a lot. If you go back to that tab, it always makes you unmute on the actual video when you're sharing your screen. So
Yeah,
you
that's
like,
Oh, there it goes.
It was unmuted.
Sorry, guys. We'll try it again.
It was unmuted.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Let's see if it works. Tell me if you hear this.
Okay.
no.
No.
Um,
All right.
oh, you know what the problem is?
Based on the claim that it was
Okay,
Gonzalez
there.
who made the statement.
Got it.
Taking very meticulous steps through this. I hand the rest of the report over to my colleague.
Thanks. Let me touch on a few key aspects. It is likely here that Mortensen suggested it was Gonzalez instead of Kernodle due to proximity.
Okay, I just want to pause because I just think some of these points are just so exceptional I want to bring up. So DM says she's not sure who said there's someone here. She assumed it was Kaylee, but the confusion lies where she thought she heard Kaylee playing with her dog upstairs. So the sound quality is so poor, she couldn't tell the difference between the attack and playing with the dog. So the thought that somebody spoke, there's someone here, which would have been a quieter statement, it's not likely she would have heard it on the third floor, Chaos Sector points out. So it would very likely be Xana's voice saying that. Another thing, Yvonne asked us, I think that the killer ordered the Jack in the Box because Ian X ate pizza at midnight. That's what X's dad said. They were home eating pizza. Why order food at 4 a.m.? A lot of people have said this too. That is definitely something that's something they're going to find out in the autopsy for sure. I've really thought on this Jack in the Box order. It's kind of hard it'd be very hard to orchestrate a crime and pretend that you are a DoorDash driver through their app, simply for there's so many aspects of tracking and keeping track of the driver to make sure that they're not stopping in between things.
Okay. All right. So I was wondering how you guys think that they got up to the third floor and the second floor. Was it?
Well,
do you believe that they went through a door?
I think they went through the sliding door on the second level in the back because that's ground level.
Right.
So
In the back, yeah.
In the back. So I think if he went through the back through the slider, and according to the affidavit, one of them saw him go back out through the slider. That's what they said in the PCA. So I think that's how whoever went in, they went in the second floor. So they were never on the first floor because the only access to that is the front. So they went in the back and they're on the main level, right, which is the second floor. And then, I popped up to and I don't know if they went to the third first and then on the way back down, I don't know.
Because I'm just trying to figure out why he said they didn't have to go up the stairs, but maybe he meant that first floor.
Oh, I think they meant the first floor because they definitely, you can't, I doubt they had an elevator, right? You're not going to go from the second to the third floor levitating, I mean.
Yeah, I do know that, like, when I was watching earlier videos, it was weird because they did move it, but there was a ladder on the side. And at first it was on the side of the building, and then it was in the front of the building, but the police tape was connected to it, and they never moved it until the house was demolished. So I didn't know if that was important to the crime scene.
Yeah, we've talked about the ladder a lot because the exit is the one thing that, or nobody really knows what the two entry and exit points are, but a lot of different things we've heard would make sense. Actually, Evil CJ posed this, that he was saying this would make a lot of sense, exiting Xana's window, using the ladder to go down. And after Gia and I we saw a live stream that was done on Thou Shalt Not Kill, and it got really up close to the house. And what we noticed, and it was like months later, and that ladder was still there. It was like you just said, Pia. But what was interesting is the angle that he showed it was actually from, was it Taylor Ave? I think it was from the front entrance of the house. And from that angle, for the first time, that ladder didn't look so far away from the edge. It really was only about 6 inches from the top. And it could possibly, we're not saying it is or isn't either way, but just like you, it was never, you're saying it never really was investigated, but it's plausible that it could have been used to get in and out of that window of Xana's room.
And that roof was super flat.
Yeah.
Would have been easy to walk on. It wouldn't have been a hard thing to walk on at all.
No.
Like a platform.
Yeah, it was completely flat roof.
Yeah. Yep.
Should be easy to get to maybe the ladder was the exit.
It probably leaked when it snowed bad in Idaho. So that's my 2 cents.
That's what Bob thinks.
No, agreed. Totally agreed. And that would answer one of the questions, which is why was the door locked? And if he exited out that window, or if they exited out that window, that would explain why the door locked behind. Another question or thing people have brought up was if the ladder was used as an entry point, then sorry, I lost my train of thought. But if the ladder is used as an entry point, it would explain how they could actually get to Xana and Ethan, because there was allegedly confirmed that new lock with the code on it. And how did they cross paths? When you brought that video, I don't know if this is a little off subject, but it made me think of something, which was they were talking about Xana and Ethan eating pizza at midnight, and they go ahead and order DoorDash at 3 a.m.
It's very weird.
It is weird. And in my comments section,
that's weird. When I was in college, I hate to say it, you have a pizza, you have a few more drinks, and all of a sudden 4 a.m. the food truck looks good, or DoorDash. Like they didn't have DoorDash when I was in college. I'm too old.
Oh, we would have used it.
I went to the food truck certainly within 4 hours of eating.
Right? Yeah.
It was like, well, that's what you do after a party. Like, what do? You go eat some more.
I did notice though that there were a lot of dirty dishes in there. And on that TikTok video, the one where they're like imitating one another. And Kaylee's like, did everybody do their chores? She's like, oh, forget it, I'll clean it up, because Xana was a clean freak. So I'm wondering if there was nobody home all night and they were all away, who made the big mess?
Right.
Like, I don't know if anybody was in there. Obviously, they've been in there before.
I also noticed. That's okay. I also noticed a large amount of the red Solo cups in one of the pictures. Like they were either doing that
beer
ping pong game thing.
Beer pong.
Yeah, beer pong. I don't play that shit. Or there was a lot of people there drinking.
Well,
so
making a mess and eating.
There was a lot of DNA.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, DNA. Yeah.
And also, how many times did the police get there and they're like, nobody that lives here is even here. So that house was always occupied by all kinds of people. It was just kind of the place to be, right? I guess, because so the dishes could come, who knows? They were all out, but maybe there was a party going on the night that they were all out. It just seemed like
with someone else, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or whoever got home first. I don't really know who got home first. I'm guessing it was.
I just remember seeing a video where the police came and they were like, is there anyone who lives here? And people are like, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, they called Maddie on her phone.
Yeah, and some of them didn't even know who lived there.
Well, I wanted to add that to the DoorDash bag that you were just talking about, with the dirty dishes and the mess that was left, which is it is odd because Xana is known to be a neat freak according to them, and she was home that night. But what was interesting in my comment section is somebody left a comment saying, well, if the DoorDash isn't part of this, if it's not a big part of this puzzle, why did they subpoena DoorDash records back going months? Like, what would have been the point of that?
Well,
and
I have an opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got through to customer service on DoorDash, to tell you the truth.
Because you can't when they forget the fries. No, I'm just kidding. No, but
I was going to bring up something else about the knife sheath with you guys right now in DNA. that me and Pio were looking up. They pulled the DNA off of the button of the knife sheath, correct?
Yes.
And what we figured, they showed the knife sheath to be a marine style, which we believe to have a brass button on the sheath, or to be a brass button. So we were looking up, can DNA be pulled off of brass? And
it's like almost impossible.
It's almost impossible is what they're saying, especially touch DNA.
That's interesting. I'll have to
It is.
research that. That's very interesting.
No,
Yeah,
I
it was
did. I did
DNA,
hear
right? It was like,
Because if you think like silverware, things like that,
yeah, plastic and glass collects DNA really, really well. But brass and what was the other thing?
I think it was
steel doesn't.
copper.
Copper, yeah, brass and copper, which is crazy, because you always have a penny or whatever, and everybody's touching it. But I just don't understand how some touch DNA gets on a brass button of a knife sheath, because it seems like that would be easily Googled and easily proven wrong.
However, but it was there because they got some, and I think, and this is just speculative because I heard this and I don't know where, because I didn't know this was going to be asked, but someone was saying when you're pressing on, like the brass snap, that's where they found the DNA. They didn't find it like necessarily there. Like when you pull it up inside under the rim, you know what I'm saying?
On the inside.
Okay.
On the leather part.
So
right?
Yeah, and inside where it's like there was just a little, and it was so minuscule, but it was enough to get to where they needed to go, right? And
right. Okay. I also seen this case when we were kind of looking into DNA I think it was a couple months ago. There was this I'm really iffy on the story completely, but basically this is how it went. There was a factory in China that was producing some kind of,
it was the body bags for dead bodies,
and the woman there was an actual
I'm sorry, it was the evidence bags.
It was something, and the woman was a serial killer, so all her DNA was being put on all these bags everywhere. Well, they were looking for a serial killer in Germany, I believe, and they tested the DNA and they found this the Chinese woman's DNA at the crime scene through this bag.
Yeah, but it took them a long time to figure out.
It was just a crazy story, but
yeah, it was like complete coincidence. But it was like this person they were looking for had killed like 27 people.
Wow.
And then this little old Chinese woman is like, what the heck? Like, I work at this place where we make evidence bags, and they're like, oh my God, like what a big mistake that was.
Wow.
And I also wanted to welcome this guy sitting up here. This is True Crime Cult.
Robert. Is he on there?
Yes.
You got sound, Robert?
Hey guys.
Hey,
Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, I got.
I don't know what happened before. It said you were muted.
See,
and then
I'm just working I'm working off the laptop, and as everything I do is off of my laptop. I don't have an actual computer set yet. But I heard what you and Tommy was talking about the other night about the DoorDash driver.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a lot of research on that. My brother lives in Walla Walla, Washington, and he's an over-the-road.
Where is that in Washington?
Huh?
Where is that in Washington?
It's up near Seattle.
Oh, okay.
And he makes delivery stops through Pullman and Idaho and Nevada and Montana. And he knew I'm on this case, so he stopped into that Jack in the Box there in Pullman, and he found out something. Yeah, he found out something really interesting, and he called and told me, Jack in the Box stops its online deliveries at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
So
is it a 2-hour-old order then? I don't understand. It's weird,
they
right?
stopped the mobile orders at 2 a.m. And there's a person who now lives in Pullman who was working for DoorDash back then. and I think her name has come up like quite numerous times in a lot of different videos. Emma Bailey.
Yeah,
was a DoorDash driver back.
Yes,
back
Emma
then.
Bailey.
And
She's a man. Yeah.
The person that ordered the food and picked it up at that Jack in the Box fit Emma Bailey's description.
Yeah, Emma Bailey
ordered the food. Yeah, she ordered the food that night and then delivered it to the crime scene to set up the 4 a.m. timeline.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So
yeah, that's a good theory.
So food was cold.
Right? Real cold.
Real cold.
Hopefully it was like an iced coffee or something. I don't know. I don't know, but I think it is very suspicious, the DoorDash driver and also the personal driver. Like I feel like every person who is the last person to see these people are cleared. And I don't know what kind of investigating that is, because
like
how is that possible?
Really
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, like Hunter. Like that kid's weird. Yeah. He said he was Ethan's best friend. I've seen other videos where some guy named Pete said he was his best friend. And there's like way more videos of Ethan with Pete, but then when Hunter went up during the memorial,
it was Peter Johnson who found the bodies that morning.
Yeah, that's the same kid, right?
Well,
it was at the door when they weren't home.
As far as I can tell, we don't.
Yeah, that's the same kid.
It is the same kid. What did you say, Swamp?
Oh no, I was saying the person who found the bodies isn't necessarily Hunter. It's Ethan's best friend, and the only person who told us that is
correct.
Hunter.
Bob's dinging you.
What did you say, Kiki?
He's like ding 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 ding.
Well, we heard that Ethan's best friend was Hunter during the eulogy, during the celebration of life. When Hunter went up to speak, he said he was Ethan's best friend, and that's where we're putting 2 and 2 together. When News Nation had their source close to the investigation come out and say it was Ethan's best friend who found him that morning, so we're just going what we know on record. That
so we made a connection. Going, oh, Hunter's his best friend. They must mean Hunter.
Yeah.
And it could have been
everyone
Pete.
see the look that Jack D and Steve G gave each other the day of the memorial service?
Okay. We're not on mute.
I don't remember.
Sorry, we got trolls.
We got some trolls in here.
I think I got them.
If you don't, he thinks he got them, but if you don't want to
judge,
you can just go. Like, it's fine. If you don't like this channel, you can just leave. We're having a good time.
Somebody was trolling. Somebody was trolling in the comments. I think I got it though.
Okay, that's okay.
Like last night, I did my voice changer in my intro. And I figured I'd try the voice changer for an intro. And I got a comment this morning from Amy Conway telling me, "Oh, that voice changer is weird. In my opinion, you shouldn't use it."
Is it Amy's channel or is it your channel? I think it's your channel, Robert. And if you want to use the voice changer, I think that's a great idea. Like, I don't even show my face. This is an open case. I've already been threatened, like really badly threatened. I have not. It's somebody involved in the case that I have never talked about in my videos. Never.
Wow.
Yeah.
I reported it to the FBI. It was a very graphic threat. Yeah, it was very graphic.
Yeah,
very graphic.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, Pia, this case caused me a mild heart attack a week ago.
Oh,
yeah, you had a heart attack. Yeah.
Oh my word.
Yeah, it's very stressful. You know, people come at you. There's a lot of people that are trying to distract you and try to change what everybody feels. And the stronger they come on, the more I try to avoid that, because it's either somebody who's very, very emotionally invested or somebody that really, really needs attention. And if they knew so much, they would call the police or they would have their own channel.
Right.
So I just try to ignore it. But if somebody's telling you, Robert, to do something, to not do something, that's crazy. You just got to remember it's your channel. It's fine just the way it is.
My emails are getting flooded by some chick named Tamara Terry.
Oh,
say that again.
Oh, is it Tamara? Is it Tamara? Yeah. Is it the same?
She's flooding my
He and I are
emails with all of her
investigating.
conspiracies.
Don't just block her. Block her.
I did.
Zip.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Okay.
She'll be back, and then block that one too.
Kiki, you have to fill me in after.
They are, please
No,
come
seriously,
on, bro.
did you guys
They
take a
are,
look
please
at,
come on, bro.
He's
Jack
right there.
Oh, Illuminati's
Davidson
here.
did the
Siri
memorial
just
service?
said threats happen daily.
What was that?
Yeah. Pia, I'm sorry
Pia,
to hear
did
that
you-
that happened to you, and you have our full support, whatever way we can help. So
Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. People, you never even know if it's just someone talking out of their butt or if it's just, you never know. People just like attention. That's what I noticed.
It's true.
Pia,
I'm not
did
worried
you
about
see
the
look
criminals so much
at,
as the crazies.
did
You're
you
not
see the
worried
look
about
at-
what?
What?
What'd you say, Kiki?
No, I said I'm not necessarily I made a flippant remark. I said I'm not necessarily in regards to what you said. I'm not always necessarily worried about a criminal as a crazy. So.
No,
Right. Yeah.
The horse left the barn.
Actions.
Kiki.
I'm talking
We're
about
not
actions,
surprised.
not people.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Don't want to
Yeah,
name
sorry.
any names. Right. Exactly.
Mm.
Well, what were you
did
saying,
you-
Robert? I'm sorry.
Did you see the look that Jack D and Steve Gonzalez gave each other the day of the memorial service?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting too that he didn't have anything to say. Like, not even like, I love her, I missed her, help us find out who did this. I know they were broken up, but the story her mom tells it's just heartbreaking. It's like she thought they were going to get married. Maybe they weren't. Maybe she was just hoping and grieving, but it seems like they had a really big relationship. They shared a pet. The guy hasn't spoken at all. So
Yeah.
that's why I think he's got a gag order.
Oh,
and
definitely.
in the phone calls to his phone, just like the DoorDashes, like, we don't know that Kaylee dialed his phone from Kaylee's phone. We just know Kaylee's phone dialed Jack's phone. And I do know that there were two guys in Sigma Chi that were talking about murder fantasies, and they're both named David. One's named Loach, and one's named something that starts with a B. I'm not going to butcher his name, but they said that if they were to kill somebody, they would leave their YouTube on like a playlist, like a loop, so that their phone would ping elsewhere. And I'm thinking, like, okay, so if Ethan got in a fight that night, I don't know who he got in a fight with, but I have heard that it was David Loach. Something about shriveled balls because of steroids or something that demasculated him and made him feel embarrassed enough to get in a fight with him. But we don't know, like, what happened at that fight. If something worse happened than somebody meant to happen. Like, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where people punch somebody in the face one time and they're done. Something could happen and then they wanted to make it look like something else. I'm not convinced that all four people are related. I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's possible either way.
That's really
Here's an
interesting.
interesting
I have a question.
hypothesis.
Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. I think there's a lag, and that's my bad. Sorry if I cut you off.
Here's an interesting hypothesis. What if it wasn't Jack D they were trying to call? It was Jack S. Because Maddie and Maddie's boyfriend and Jack S were best friends.
Right.
So what if it was Jack S they were trying to call and not Jack D?
I don't know. I think they called like numerous times.
Yeah, I think
Styling him, right?
I heard. This is Bob. I heard Steve had the Verizon family plan or whatever, some kind of plan where he could see all the texts
family
and
password.
calls. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I think he said that on an early interview.
Yeah, he said they have a family password, but I don't know if they locked it down.
So
or,
I don't know if
you
he knew exactly who called from. I don't know anything. I'm just sitting here. So, but
It's nice to meet you, Bob.
Nice to meet you, Bob.
Cluminati said the Gonzalez family said it was Jack D.
Okay.
Just read that in the comments. They're going so fast, the chat. Sorry.
I know. I was trying to look, and then I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bob's doing
trying
it.
to run the show, so
Yeah, I'm trying.
keep my eye out.
It's my first try.
You guys.
But what were you going to ask,
I was
Kiki?
going to ask, I have a question for all of you on the subject that you're just talking about, because we talk about the fight.
Right.
have the two places I've ever heard the fight referenced, and please tell me if there's other things I'm missing, but the one was the 4chan post, and the other one was Kara Kernodle confirming there was a fight. Was there any other time that someone went on the record saying there was a fight?
I don't think so.
So we're just going with the details we're going with about who it was with and everything was just the 4chan post. Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing that there was.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too. I was like, where did this come from? And it was, I think, because that 4chan post also said, it also implicated David and said that, what did it say? It was like, this person got it because of this, and this person got it because of this. Like one was jealousy and one was, I can't even remember. Can you?
No.
It was like a big 4chan post, and it said like David Loach, David B, and it was talking about how David B's family owns a cleaning company, and they probably cleaned it up or whatever.
Oh,
and
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, like I don't know, because I thought they said it was in Grand Rapids or something like that, somewhere that I thought was a Michigan town, and I don't know how they could get there that fast. You know what I mean? Unless he had stuff from some kind of school break that he brought back. I don't know, like how these kids are going to be able to clean something that professionally. That's why I thought it was possible that someone went down a ladder, because that would explain some of the blood not being there. It's supposed to be such a bloody murder.
And that I can't remember the channel, but who was the channel that was talking about they thought they heard either a drone or a power washer? Did anybody?
Tommy said that, I think. Tommy.
Did anybody hear about that?
A power washer on the video?
Okay. Yeah, don't listen to me then. These are all things that are like weird. I don't know. This is what I heard. It's been tossed around that there was power washers heard. I don't know about seen, but maybe then there was, I think Bubbly Waters, shout out to Bubbly.
That's right.
Had also did a little video on that, and there was a guy, a kid to me, but a guy that owned a drone company near there, and it could have been him. I don't know.
And there was a student who was on some Discovery Channel thing, and he's like a professional drone racer. It was crazy.
It was that same guy.
It was the same guy. He's like a young kid, and he like makes, I don't know if he makes YouTube videos or if he makes like independent stuff or whatever, but he like had this drone, and it was flying like, you know how like you go on like a motorcycle course to get your motorcycle license? He was like going in and out of these things, and it was like super insane. Fast. Like it was more fast than you would expect to see it going.
I've been hiking on a trail and had somebody fly one of those over my head before. It was like pretty
scary,
insane.
right? Yeah.
I thought I was gonna get a haircut.
Yeah, they can go pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you guys see the No Quarter November video that Doug Wilson came out with?
No. What's that?
Right.
It is. It's very creepy. He's sitting there at the Thanksgiving dinner table, eating and then talking, and then it shows somebody outside in the dark peering at the house, like walking up towards a house, and then an alarm goes off, and Doug Williams is walking through this like blast door and out into the garage. He puts a flamethrower on. It says No Quarter November on the tank.
Yeah.
I've seen something up towards that, where I see one where he was riding in a truck and it was like slowly catching on fire, which was extremely weird to me.
Where did we see that? That was crazy.
I think Tommy Jude played it.
Yeah, I think so.
Out in his backyard was the symbols of Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Little Mermaid, and Ariel, and Elsa from the Frozen, and he lights them all on fire. And then as he's walking away, you hear a drone flying overhead, and he's catching the drone on fire with the flamethrower. And then he's walking back towards the house, and he goes, "Anybody want to come in for pie?"
Yeah, like he's like, yeah, he seems weird. He seems like he's like in control of something because he's got too much money to be like blowing up trucks and stuff in this video. It's weird. And what was it called? No Quarter November? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's like a Led Zeppelin
no
song or
November.
something.
It means something.
Yeah, it means something. It means like no consequence or something. Or somebody knows in chat, tell me. But No Quarter November means like pretty much like I wouldn't call it a purge, but you know what I mean? Like do whatever you want and there's no consequence. And that's just kind of ironic, we thought, because it was in November. Probably has nothing to do with it, but that person is Doug Wilson. He's the Church of Christ guy, right?
That's what I was just gonna say. I remember this on Tommy's. I remember him talking about that. I saw that episode on Tommy's channel. Yeah, it might have been the one you were on. I don't know, or when you invited him there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said Bubbly talked about it too, but yeah.
Bubbly.
What is Norman saying? Me too. She's really good.
Oh yeah.
She's one of the first true crime people I saw.
You want to read one of these?
Yeah. What does it say?
It says, "What about the trail of blood from room to room? It had never been established that there had been tracks of foot traffic." Yeah, that like there's.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, Norman. Like, why? Like, what if they're walking around the house? I mean, they could have been wearing booties on their feet, and one fell off. But I don't know why it would fall off right in front of Dylan's door. I have no idea, and I don't know if it was. Well, Dylan, when I looked it up, see, the thing is, when you look them up, like you look up their stuff, there's so many clout chasers. There was some guy named Faceless that said he was the Idaho killer, and he got like so many followers, and he made a lot of money off it because he said he was that. And some people put like fake LinkedIn's up and stuff. But the one I saw for Dylan Mortensen is that she actually worked for Vans, but then I heard that the shoes weren't even Vans, right? Just had like a waffle cone print on the back or something like that.
Oh.
But I don't know how you get one, Norman, I have no idea how you get one footprint unless they hopped all the way out with one booty and then fell one time. But
could the others be smudged and that's the only one that has I don't know. I'm just speculating. Maybe all the others were smudged and this was the only one but then they said latent. So that means that it was faint, right? Or discovered.
Yeah, it means like, you know, like when you vacuum or whatever, and then you step on your carpet, you can see like a little shoe print barely.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like an imprint, like a design imprint, not like I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Not like you know what I mean?
Or something.
Yeah. It's just not even. So I don't even know, but it had blood on it, right?
Yeah. Apparently Richie Rich is being mean to me and Bob in the chat.
Oh, I put in the private chat. So Bob, take a look at the private chat. There's a couple of people in there that I think need to be tossed.
There's people in the chat. Oh God, sorry guys.
It's so crazy, you guys. Like, there's no reason to be disrespectful in here. Everybody here is.
Richie Rich comes onto my channel all the time and bashes me. Yeah, it tells me I steal content. I don't steal content.
He's being rude to all of us.
He's being rude to everybody. There's no place for it, as you said, Pia, in the beginning. This is not to be tolerated, right? Like that's
right. There's no room for it. Like I don't know why anybody wants to be unkind.
No. Really so I'm just putting in the private chat as I see, like, take a look at this guy, take a look at that guy. Because
thank you, Gia.
I didn't catch
anything. No problem. He's out of here. Bob
oblivious. Oh my God.
Bob like immediately was like,
Thank you, yeah, if anybody else wants to talk some shit, might as well say it now so I can just ban you. I mean, come on.
Right?
I know. I wish I could help. I can't, except for
okay.
I like him already.
It's okay. It's okay. I got it.
Well, Richie Rich, you got your attention. Now you're gone.
Yeah. And Urban Flamingo. I don't know.
Oh, Urban Flamingo? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we know some people with like double names that are trolls.
Does anybody, Pia, does anyone feel that there's a drug connection to the house? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Emma Bailey, I think. When she got arrested, did you notice that she was at the end? I don't know if you saw my video or what video you saw, but at the end, I pointed out that the officer that arrested Emma walked up to the officer that like processes people into jail, and he said, Brianna messaged me, and it was like all like Brianna messaged me, and then he said, oh yeah, I saw that. He's like, I never seen that alert before, and he tried to show the officer that arrested her, and then he knocked on the table. The conversation just stopped, and then that was it. Like, just started talking about something else. So there was an alert on there, and her arrest to me was pretty fishy because I think that they were responsible for someone's death, an overdose, and it was a huge bust, and they're apparently free to go. So I don't know. I've never been a felon, but I'm guessing if you're a felon and you're offered anything at all to reduce anything, you're going to take it. So I think that Emma Bailey does have a lot to do with it, and they're not going to do anything to her unless that's why nobody's heard of her, because she's on a gag order.
And maybe she got promised immunity for her, whatever she may or may
And
not.
Bethany did too. So
maybe she changed her name.
Yeah, she could have changed her name.
Moved away somewhere. I mean,
right?
On what Gia is saying, I think that's a really interesting point, and we brought it up in the podcast quite a bit, which is that if you sorry, I'm like a little bit nervous, is that if we in the beginning of this case, we all heard the police say repetitively that if we want to see your data, we want to see your pictures, we want to know what you were involved in going on with this house, it's not part of the bigger picture. Our priority is to catch this quadruple murderer. It is not to bust some kids with their, doing their partying activities. So she very well could be, but we did hear, all of us with our own ears hear the police say there would be inferred that there would be immunity if people came forward just to help get the real big criminal in jail. So I don't know. I just wanted to add that to the conversation because I think it's important to know, especially when we talk about Dylan and Bethany and what they might have been involved in. There was these promises that, so it's all under the gag order. We don't know. It's all speculation, but
speaking of, Kiki always tells me, put your finger up when you want to talk, because I don't like to, I tend to interrupt. So a lot of people are saying in the comments too, the gag order they're saying only applies to the parties of the case and the law enforcement and whatnot. But I was under the impression it also applied to the key witnesses. So did anyone, I could be wrong. So
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I believe there was anybody else in that house, because I don't know, like, even if they didn't hear something that happened, wouldn't there be like a nasty smell? I mean, four dead bodies and blood all over the place. Like,
that's what they say. I've never smelled it, but yeah.
And how could they have all been hanging out over there before they called the cops? That's just so morbid.
Yeah,
it's gross.
I wanted to say something real quick about the white car and when me and Pia had, first heard about this, it was over a year ago now, and when they were looking for the white car and the Banfield first came out, we noticed a white car in the background, which was the white cop car.
Yeah.
And now I've seen a lot of other channels discussing the cop car thing being the cop car in the footage. What do you guys think about that?
Bob, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with you.
I agree. I don't know enough. I haven't done a deep dive on it, but a lot of people I trust are saying the same thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other footage with a police officer in Moscow that's using that car. You know what I mean? I just see like regular police cars.
Right. I think they were saying they used the white cars as undercover cars.
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard that, and all of this, we get inundated with so much information, and sometimes it's hard to remember where exactly it came from. But I've heard a few times that they use these white, kind of very plain white, kind of like the Elantra looking cars as the undercover, and that there was one in the area that night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did some deep diving on who owns what there in Moscow. And
who owns what?
Yeah, I did some deep diving on who owns property there in Moscow.
Oh, okay.
And Saeed, the one that got stopped by the cop on Banfield, owns his own bungalow apartment complex, not very far from Banfield. And that's why he said my apartment's not that far away, because his apartment complex is not that far away. He owns that complex.
You
Saeed does?
Yes, Saeed does. And just like the people that own the 1122 King Road house, like a couple of days after the murders, they dumped all their properties onto this group called Eagle Investments Group, and that's based out of San Diego. Except the house is like right behind where the murder house was. That's now owned by Megan Moy and her family.
Megan
Megan who?
Megan Moy. Because if you remember in that one video that cop walked up, asked for a Megan at the house, and he thought Maddie's name was
Ranzana's like Maddie Mogan, yeah. She's like, I don't have a Megan, I have a Maddie Mogan. When the cop came out, remember that?
Yeah. Megan lives in the house right behind the 1122 King Road.
Huh?
Oh,
what was that noise?
It's just some. Don't worry about it. Oh, we're still there. Okay. Okay. So, what is that? Oh my goodness, that is our very first. What do you call that even? Super chat. Thank you so much, Swifter. She said, "Hey, wonderful peeps. Ashlyn Couch is the 6th roomie, and apparently her brother Ethan Couch found knife and is incarcerated. Also, Hannah Clear, bro, and Beth also involved. Plus one more Jack. Okay, which Jack though? Like
Jack on the Beach?
Jack in the Box. Jack. Okay, so Jack.
Jack S. Jack B, and Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box. Jack DeCour. Jack Showalter. Is there another Jack? There's a Jake, right? Maddie's boyfriend's name is Jake.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. There's so many hunters. There's so many. I don't even understand. I don't know how they're going to keep track of all these people. I don't know how. And the other thing is, the way that their house is built, it's like an amphitheater. You know what I mean? Like all the sound's going to collect. And supposedly nobody heard this. You can't like hear something coming from an amphitheater with no noise anywhere else.
Yo, Dill Hole.
Okay.
What's up, you little rascal?
He's cool.
Torn down the house.
What's that?
The Gonzalez and the Cronotos didn't want the house torn down until after the trial.
Yeah, because, I saw on Andrew Meyer's channel, he said that they legally weren't supposed to be able to demolish the house.
I wouldn't think so. I can't.
Yeah, it was the Mogans and the Chapins who wanted it gone.
They don't even have a murder weapon as far as we know, so I wouldn't have torn down the house. It looked like there were little cubby holes when they were like demolishing it. There was like a little square. It could have been like a place to put a safe or I don't know.
That's grounds for appeal right there. Anyways, like there's so much set up for this case to be appealed. It's not even funny, but that's definitely one. I've never seen a crime scene be demolished before a trial. That's crazy to me. And for so many reasons, I think Kiki, we did a show on this for so many reasons. That is just, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever because you can't go back and recreate it. I don't care what kind of fabulous software they have and 3D recreations. There's no substitute for the original. And juries often like to go back and see things, and they want to see from particular angles. And when you do a 3D model of something, how are you going to recreate a floorboard that creaks? Right. Or you can't do it. And my thing is, they should have left all of the furniture in there. They should have left it as it is. They should have preserved the acoustics, and they should have preserved the crime scene just in case.
right? Because you can't look at a 3D model and be like, oh, that's what it looks like when you look out the window. That's what it sounds like.
It's not going to smell the same. It's not going to have
Yep.
the same feel. It's not going to have the same draftiness. You're not going to be able to really see like in person, like, you know what?
Right, like your
That's
Florida Creek or something.
Yep.
Anything. Because that's what I heard, that it was a very loud house that you could like hear when people were walking on the steps.
Yeah. And you don't know what you don't know. And to your point of like, there's cubbies and there's nooks and there's crannies and there's this and there's that. That can't be recreated. So to me, it's like, if anything, this is going to be automatic ground for appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of grounds for appeal. I don't know why they're stealing everything and like
there's
painting this picture of him so it looks like a monster. Like, we don't know that Bryan Kohberger is a monster. You know what I mean? We just know that he's educated.
And I'd say this. I kind of had this fleeting random thought the other night, right? And gosh, don't let me lose it. But I thought, this guy, he's so invested in criminology and serial killers, and it's such an interest of his. He could be getting off on this even though he knows he's innocent. Let's just say he's innocent. He could be really enjoying this. And I just hear me out on it, because most people wouldn't, but I don't think he's most people. And, you know, I think there's a lot of room for this could be someone else.
Right.
And after
I really do too.
At the trial, I might say differently and be like, oh gosh, if I had known that, I would say definitely yay or nay. You know, but we don't know. But I thought
the college asked. Yeah, the college asked the prosecutor if he still needed the house, and the prosecutor statement was, the feel of the house, the feel of the house has changed, so we don't need it anymore.
Okay.
Well, I feel like that had a lot to do with them trying to save the image of their school, and I'm not sure how they are going to manage to do that, because I have a big problem with the fact that the prosecuting attorney said that we can't do this unless it's in summer. We got football games. That's ridiculous. What are you talking about? You know?
That's ridiculous.
Why is that more important? That's crazy.
I think that's letting everybody know they can't even do the case there, don't you?
Yeah, they were trying to switch the venue, but I don't know if that's going to be
And
good.
speaking of
my
that,
hand raised. Yeah.
Well, you're not on the camera, so we can't see you.
So you got so Gius first.
I didn't see you because you were not. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh no.
My mom would go, it's probably alive then.
Hey, Lewis County.
Yeah, that's what my mom says too.
She does? Where the heck does that come from?
Right.
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry,
Robert.
Hey, the day they had the court hearing, Ann Taylor said that she has a motion to have the venue changed, but she's not filing it yet. The only county there in Idaho that has never even heard of Bryan Kohberger or the trial is Lewis County, and Lewis County is population 500. And
Lewis
Bill Thompson.
County?
Yeah, Bill Thompson.
The whole county is 500 people?
Yeah, Lewis County. Because Bill Thompson agreed with her and said it's like really, really small and there wouldn't be enough accommodations for the witnesses coming in. And then the judge said, well, isn't Lewis County, isn't the population on that like 500 people?
So what, I don't know, what county is the closest county to what, Latah County?
Cooney County. But all the counties have heard about the murder except for Lewis. And I don't know how far Lewis is from Latah.
Well, they must be living under a rock. But what I was going to, I'm sorry, I remember what I was going to say. They're not necessarily trying to get it out of Latah County, but they're trying to pick a jury pool. There's two ways: either move the venue or pick from a jury pool that's much larger, but bring them in. And I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, it would be better though too, because then he would have an unbiased jury, right? Because
I don't know.
chances of anybody knowing any one of those 4 people is probably really high if they're going to use his peers.
Yeah.
But I don't know what his peers, is that like PhD students or is that like frat guys?
According to Steve, it's farmers or something.
Yeah, he wants it. Steve Gonzalez said he wanted it to be farmers.
Well, because he said they're too busy to be, they're not on social media and they're too busy working to watch TV, so they might not know.
Yeah.
That's what, but I mean, let's face it, I guess unless you're in Lewis County, you've heard of this. I don't know how they haven't, because I mean,
doesn't even make sense.
Everybody's heard of it, even though it's a global thing.
Yeah, it is global. Yeah,
it's
global. I'm sure you guys have subscribers from around the world. We do too. Like, I find it really crazy that Idaho doesn't realize that we're all watching, like all over the world.
Oh,
how are they going to get out of that?
They know.
You think so?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like they need to cover their tracks,
Yeah, definitely. I want to just add to what Gia was saying. So when she says it could either be a jury, a jury pool who's more removed from it, or it could be a larger jury pool for them to choose from. So if we were talking about this before, there might be an example we might be able to use could be the Daybell case from what we've heard. Because it was very high profile and they moved it to Boise. And what was interesting about that move is they were able to keep the same trial judge from that move to the Boise case. And it sounds like if Judge was to do the same and move it to Boise, he potentially could still be the trial judge as well. So
I think he would be, absolutely. Just like
I
we
like
were
that
saying.
thought, Swamp Bros.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's way too much
like
this
that thought.
case.
Oh, thank you, Robert. I didn't hear the last part of you. I might have
You're cutting out.
Yeah, it keeps cutting out.
It's like the beginning or the end of your sentences are cutting out.
Me or
no,
Robert. Robert. Down there.
There was another thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the other things that I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, when we were talking about the footprints back at the house, I thought of something maybe your viewers might be interested in. For whatever it's worth, Gia and I talk oftentimes about the kill kit. And what we're referencing is a video by Mark B. So that's Mark B, like MARCBEE 1234 is his handle, and he has a video of what he describes as a kill kit. And essentially, and he's not saying this is exactly how it's done. He's just trying to spark ideas about how somebody could contain that as they leave. And he shows how you can you can bring a kit in which can prevent you from trailing your DNA from one place to another. I won't elaborate on it, but I just wanted to bring that up while we were talking about it. And
what is in a kill kit?
Well, booties were one. That's what made me think of it when you said it. But primarily, it would have to involve some large piece of plastic. Think about the movies, like a gangster movie.
Oh, like to wrap it. Yeah.
Exactly. So you would take your shoes off and step off of it. Or
you mean more like Dexter, you mean?
Details, but yeah, like you'd have to,
I think.
That,
yeah,
I thought that'd be interesting to tell you guys about. In fact, Mark says we can use any of his videos. It's a pretty cool video.
Really? Okay. So if where did he say he brought the kill kit in? It was already there, like in the woods, or?
Yeah, it was a hidden.
So the kill kit was first referenced by Steve. So Steve So Steve brought up the kill kit, and he made it, the context I heard it somewhat sounded like he was saying it was suggested to him as well. And so people wanted to know what this was, and there's no other, so everything's been speculation, but what we're assuming is these are supplies to help you cover your trail. And so essentially you could wrap everything up in plastic, bring it with you, put it in your car and drive off and dispose of it. And that would explain why there's no DNA in the car as well.
Kiki, didn't you say also that could explain why someone they had reported seeing a naked man running?
The other thing. That's the other thing. And this goes back to the ladder as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could take your clothes off and then
on top of a piece of plastic.
Right. Change back into different clothes.
Yep.
Run out the sliding door. Bethany sees a naked man driving by, putting his kill kit in the car and driving off. Another thought was that evil CJ brought up that could also play into the naked man theory is the kill kit was in Xana's room. He wrapped it up, got out the window, went down the ladder naked. Then Bethany sees him running naked by the door. Because I'm not dismissing the mirror story. That story could have been taken down by the defense if they wanted to for being misinformation, because there are laws in the UK. It's not like the US. You can't just go around saying things. If you offend someone, there are processes you can have.
Their freedom of speech is limited to if you offend. Yeah, it's way more stricter than here.
Someone in the comments said Bubbly has the naked man video. I don't think I've seen it. Have you, Kiki?
I didn't.
Tabby Cat says, you guys, Bubbly has a naked man video. I think she was the one that reported on seeing the naked man running.
Wasn't there a report of a woman too? Sorry, my dog.
Yes, there is a report of a naked woman as well. That's at 2 a.m. on the So that's actually pretty. Nobody's ever actually been able to debunk that. So I want to go.
Yeah, I know.
This case started, we all assumed it was real. And
There's
so
Bubbly. Hi, Bubbly.
Hi, Bubbly. We were just talking about you. It was good stuff.
Hi, Bubbly.
We were talking about your naked man video. Apparently, you have a video of a naked man for true crime's sake, actually. Not just passing around naked man video, guys.
Yes. We're not talking about anyone's personal collection.
That's right. Not me. Oh, Robert's got his hand up.
Oh.
Is that what you're doing? Okay. You're like a little thing on my screen.
Okay, I wanted to expound on what Swamp Rose said. Steve G's also come out along with Christy with new details on how Kaylee and Maddie was found. Kaylee apparently was in the corner, slumped over on the floor, and Maddie was on the bed, slumped over in the corner of the bed, because apparently those rooms were so small that if there's 3 people in there, the second occupant is trapped. Because when you go to shut the door to the bedroom, it grazes the bottom of the bed. So that room is so small.
Was she killed in the corner then, or did she get stabbed and then kind of just laid back in the corner? You know what I mean? Died like that.
She was, according to Christy and Steve, she was found slumped over in the corner of the room. So she was trapped in that room and killed in that corner where she was found.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the bed.
Okay.
I think she was trying to back away from someone and backed into.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah, because there was nowhere to go.
Yeah, because she's not gonna jump out the window.
The bed took up the whole room, is what Mrs.
But I just don't understand how, when all that is happening, how is Dylan hearing somebody whisper, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you," and how is she hearing some noise that sounds like a dog playing, but she doesn't hear Xana, who fought so hard her hands were almost severed apart? Like,
I don't get that.
There's no way. And first you said she was sleeping, then they said she was texting. So I can't believe a thing that person says, and that makes her suspicious to me. I don't know about you, but definitely. I don't know how they're just like, yeah, that's cool. Be on your merry way.
Ann Taylor made the comment, and at the hearing, the PCA is full of holes in her opinion, and it's full of inconsistencies by Dylan. In her opinion, this is what Ann Taylor said in that hearing on the 26th, that the PCA, as far as she's concerned, is full of holes and inconsistencies.
I did hear her say that she has a lot of stuff to go through, like the 51 terabytes, which is, God, that's so much. I don't know if you know how much that is. That's like a lot of files. That's like a TV station worth of memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it take years to go through that. So
yeah. And I wonder if some of it is just people trying to give tips. Like, I don't care if you're in here actually, but if someone like the person who emailed me 100,000 times telling me this is this and that is that, and some psychic told her this and some psychic told her that, if she's going to email me and she's going to email you, Robert, and I'm sure she's emailed you guys, she's going to call the FBI and do tips. Lots of people are going to do stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of it was like photographs or like maybe a video. There was talk of a video on the dark web. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I know those videos exist on the dark web. And I know that people will watch them, you know, sick, disgusting people.
Yeah.
But the world's full of
just like
strange,
just like that night, Dylan did not have a timeline. Bethany, Ethan, Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee, all their whereabouts were accounted for that night. Dylan's was not.
Where did you hear that?
I've heard.
Oh. What happened? Hello?
I think he left accidentally, probably. I don't think on purpose. He cut out.
Yeah.
Something happened. Yeah.
It must be, I don't know if it's cords loose or what's going on, but right? What are you doing?
Looks like in the old movies when the mouth doesn't go with the words.
Yeah, that's what I didn't know if it was just our connection, but
no,
it was like when he was talking, it would be like you hear 3 words of a sentence, and then then I didn't know what to say. I was like, I can't hear you. Maybe he'll figure it out. I don't know, but I forgot what are you doing? Oh, okay.
You lady in the lovely sweater with her hand up.
Kiki.
You're muted.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
sorry, that's why
we almost got 420 in here. Are you on now? No.
There you
And
go.
this is for you guys and for the chat or whoever's watching. So I saw Cluminati in the live stream earlier when we were talking about the Banfield car, and I noticed she was saying, "Oh, I've done a deep dive. There's an overlay on my channel." So I just wanted to answer. We were saying before that she does have an overlay on her channel that you can go check out. But when I was watching her live stream the other day, I heard something really interesting. I haven't heard anyone really talking about it. I brought it up in one of my live streams, but haven't elaborated on it, which was in the new book that the President Green of the University of Idaho put out. In the last chapter, he states something about knowing about this very early in the morning. And I'm not trying to be the dweller on like anomalies before the 911 call, but I am, and I make a lot of videos on it. And that is in the other rumor that, and again, I'm not pinning this on Cluminati. I'm just saying I heard it in the chat of her live stream. Again, not saying Cluminati is my source, and she said she might order the book. I don't know if any of you have read it. Do you?
No way.
What's
that in there? He wrote a book. It's like the something guide to surviving a tragedy at your school.
Yeah.
And it's to raise money for the tribute to the students. They're making a garden for them where the house was demolished. And so the other thing that was rumored after that was that possibly people have heard that President Green was there the morning when the police arrived. He was part of the group of 20 youngsters. And again, I'm just wondering, has anyone ever heard this? Do you know where
President Green was?
Because I've been researching this, and again, Reddit is cleaned up. I can't find a lot of stuff I used to. And I'm going to buy the book so I can read it for myself. But has anyone else heard these things?
Only thing I heard is there's a chapter called The Grim Reaper. And it's about
chapter 37.
Yeah, chapter 37, The Grim Reaper. And it's about, was it about when the Scream people?
The students protested against him and dressed up as
the Grim Reaper
or something to that effect. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. My memory is so
short.
But I believe that's what I heard, and I can't remember the creator talking about it. I want to say, I don't know. But
well, if you think of it, yeah.
It was it was someone. I think it might have been Ponder.
Oh, Plunder.
Sorry.
Oh, Plunder. Okay.
Whoa.
I think she had bought.
Thank you, Cluminati.
The book.
Oh my goodness.
And she had talked about it, but.
Oh, actually, Hold on a second. Let me start. I went on. That's funny you said that, because when I was researching it, I went and watched Plunder's video to hear everything she had to say. Because when the book initially came out, she that morning came out and gave when it was available to the public, she read it and kind of gave a book review on it. So I did watch that video on Plunder, but I couldn't find anything about President Green on there. I don't. Now that you're saying that about the Grim Reaper, I remember what you're talking about now. She has a great channel too for anyone who has never been there. I
like her voice. I think it's soothing.
She has a soothing voice.
Oh, okay. Wait, is A.R. Hayes still in here though? I think I lost him.
And he was saying earlier that he would have come on, but he lost his voice.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, he emailed me that. He said if his voice was feeling better.
Yeah, so he says maybe he'll be better tomorrow. So it wasn't that he didn't want to come on, I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, I'm avidly reading the comments, so.
Yeah. You have your glasses on.
I know. I can't see anything without them except for blur. So
how long do y'all got?
Huh?
How long? Are you guys busy? You guys want to peace out, or got a little left in you?
We're here to support you. So
I have a
whatever
little left in me, and
left in
my
me.
son wants.
I noticed Clue wrote
Oh yeah, Illuminati's here.
Wait, hold on a second. What did you say about chicken piccata?
Chicken piccata. Nico is hankering for a chicken piccata tonight. I told him I make it after this. So.
Well, he's a lucky boy. I wish I was there to have some. But it looks
You
like
want to come on, Illuminati? Here's the linker. We're putting the linker out there.
Linker.
Good linker.
Yeah, if you feel like it, come on, Illuminati.
Or Bubbly Waters, or
yeah,
whatever.
really.
We'll bring everybody on.
Anybody who wants to come on can come on. Just type it in the chat if you want to come in.
I think I put the.
Hey, look! Put that one up. Put that one up. See, here's the troll right here. Just click on it.
Demetrius.
Let me see it. Yeah.
I think that's really him. It's got to be really him. I think that probably is him.
I put that in the private chat.
What is
yeah,
that?
I honestly, I timed him
Whoa!
out
There's
for a
another
minute,
one. Little
but
Devil.
He's okay. I think he's not trolling too hard.
No, he's just.
I'll let him slide for now.
He has commented before and said he couldn't believe that it took a clown to figure out that him and Emma were related to this case.
I mean, it's just he's all right for now. I'm watching him.
Shout out to Demetrius Robinson.
I'm watching.
Enjoy your freedom. I don't know.
Anybody want to come up?
Oh, look. Demetrius loves me too.
Oh, okay, well, stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
You better stop loving her, dude.
Yeah, so I'm going to, let me see what I was going to ask you guys. I wrote it like a nerd. Okay. Oh, where?
Here, want to add it to it?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, hello, Illuminati.
Hello.
Oh, is she up there? Okay.
Hi.
How are you? Thank you for the, I don't know what it's called, super chat?
Chat, yeah.
Okay, I'm just learning.
Hi, Swamp Rose. I don't know the other lady.
This
That's
is
Gia.
my sister-in-law. We have a podcast together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And this
That's
is
pretty good
podcast.
Gia, what? Can I put your? What is your?
It's YouTube Gia.
Here, run
At Gia
Peru.
Peru.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So
I don't have
what
much
is?
on there yet. I'm new too, but I'm mostly on
Oh.
Swamp Rose's channel.
Yeah.
It's an up-and-coming channel.
Huh?
Okay. So it's right here.
Yep.
Okay, I'm doing this.
Then.
Gia.
Yeah, go ahead and do cool.
GIA.
Oh no, I put Gina. Go
Mhm.
back now. I don't have my glasses on. So, Illuminati, what is your take on anybody who you think has incriminated themselves so far in this case? Do you have any idea of anybody who could be involved in this case besides Bryan Kohberger?
Oh, yeah. If
Who do
it
you-
was not Kohberger, in my opinion, the strongest suspects to me would be the two living roommates,
Mhm.
the cops that were in that quote unquote undercover car,
Right.
and possibly the frat guys, because I know 4chan is looked at like it's, you know, whatever, the dark web, right? But it's odd that they have a lot of very specific details, like a 5-minute walk. If you Google that, that's on point.
Right.
Exactly how long it would take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
It
I
adds
could
up,
see,
right?
right. And I could see, so Hudson Lindau, right? They found him in that creek.
Right.
So could I see them having something to do with what happened to him? And then one of the girls finding out, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we got to get rid of this problem.
Right. Yeah. Get rid of the witnesses or the people that know what actually happened. There's a lot of like, I feel like there's a lot of weird privileges that frat boys get. Like, did you ever hear about that guy, Brock Turner? He was a frat boy. I'm not sure what state he was from, but he sexually assaulted a girl like outside a dumpster. And he was super wealthy. And they charged him with 3 felonies, and he only went to jail for 3 months.
So here's the thing with University of Idaho, you don't even have to be in a frat. They did the same thing with a football player. He was accused of doing that to a girl, and she reported it to the coach, right? And they just swept it like right up underneath the rug.
She had to get it on videotape.
So disgusting that they could do something like that. Like,
I will say this, until Moscow Police Department got involved. Because I will say this, if you look at the history with Moscow Police Department, even in Stickergate, right? The prosecution were the ones saying, oh, this video doesn't exist. But the 2 cops were saying, actually, yes, it does. We've looked at it within the last year.
What? Like, things just magically disappear in Moscow, Idaho, and Pullman, Washington. Like, I don't know if you're aware, but in 2022, this is what I think the motivation would be for any law enforcement to be mad at Bryan Kohberger. In 2022, when he tried to get a job or whenever it was, there was crazy things going on in Pullman. The chief of police, the assistant chief of police, and what was the other one? It was like the 3 heads of the police department all got charged with sexual assault, and it was all against college girls. And so maybe Bryan, you know, like in an interview where they're like, do you have any questions for us? You know, maybe he was like, who's the new police chief going to be? And they were like, what do you mean? And maybe they were worried he was going to spread it around. I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like Bryan Kohberger is like the least likely person to do this, especially if it was all by himself.
With the information available.
With the information available, of course.
Right.
But I feel like,
I think,
do you think one person can do that?
I do, actually. So fiance and I kind of recreated the scene. I know people, I'm not for everyone, right? You have to laugh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we recreated the scene with like mannequins and a knife, and he went outside in the driveway, and he's like, he comes back into the bedroom and he's like, gotcha. And he's stabbing and the head falls off. Anyway, it's like everyone always asks us to play the video. It's crazy. But let me tell you, sit in your house when you're not on the computer or YouTube or something, sit there and time out. What was it? 16 minutes?
16, I think, or 18 something.
We did 8 minutes. That's right. Sit there. And I'm telling you, after he went to the first quote unquote room, he said, tell me when it's been 2 minutes. And literally we're just sitting here, and all of a sudden I hear him and he's yelling, has it been 2 minutes? And I was thinking the same thing. Like, my God, this is a long time.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then the injuries, though, what do you think about the injuries? That they all have different injuries? Like, wasn't Kaylee rumored to have like all her facial muscles bruised in or whatever it was? She was like mauled.
Yeah, like they were broken allegedly, but
allegedly.
So when we were talking about this earlier, actually, and if you look at the definition of sharp force injuries, that includes like chopping, stabbing, slashing. So while they may look different to like Mr. Gonzalez, right? He said that their means of damage were different. That could be true, but it could still be the same weapon. because you got to think. I don't think the guy crawled on the bed. I really don't. I think he's
Me neither.
like leaned over the bed.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
Just
if that's the
reached
case,
over the bed.
right, he's not going to be able to reach Kaylee as well as he could reach Maddie, who was on the outside. So it is going to differ. And
But then say they like, okay, so who do you think died first then? Because I'm wondering how Ethan wouldn't have ran into the room and helped somebody. You know what I mean? Unless he went to get the DoorDash.
unless, I mean, if it's true what Dylan says, that's all she heard was like noise, like they were. I don't see how that would carry into Ethan and Xana's room.
It was a long time ago.
Oh, sorry.
If that makes sense. If there was no screaming. If there was screaming, then something is off, especially 100% with Dylan.
Do you think Dylan was actually home?
Home?
Yeah, during it.
The
Do you
only
think she's
person
telling the truth?
I do think she was home. The only one I question is Bethany, because if you look at what the investigator they hired said, Bethany was at home 8 hours later when police arrived on the scene.
True. But it's just so like, I don't know. I don't know if you get those emails either, Cluminati, but we were talking about somebody who emails and emails and emails. I feel like those people are in the way to distract everybody from the case or to change the narrative or whatever their motivation is.
I mean, I get emails, but like I get some crazy stuff, right? I'm talking about like they had a chip in their brain. They were activated by the government. The last one, I'm telling y'all, like you laugh, but the craziest one I got, one of the robot who literally ended the other ones and then self-destructed.
Wow. How did they find out?
Oh my word.
Sounds like there should be a lizard in that equation.
Yeah, there'd be a reptilian involved and probably money, because I think that's what this is about. I don't know. I don't know, was it one of your videos that was talking about Steve G and somebody else having a corporation together? Okay. I didn't okay.
I don't remember that.
Wasn't that where, and he was wearing a hat with the logo? And people were
the hex?
There's been like all this. Yeah, there's been all this talk like why he wears a hex hat. Well, I did find an article that said one of our fellow Hexians was their child was the victim of a horrible crime. So I don't know if he works for Hex or what.
I think it was on Drip Drop's channel. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was on Crime Circus Cult, but I do remember the connection. If I'm not mistaken, Steve Gonzalez is related to
someone.
It's like I want to say, I keep it on the tip of my tongue. I keep saying his brother, but I don't know if that was the actual relation. But it was in Florida, and
Nathan.
I can't recall, but I know he bought a very famous diamond with some of the proceeds to the Hex Corporation. And that's my only distinguishing factor I can give you, because it was so long ago I saw the video. But so he's related to somebody in the Hex Corporation. And it was more, I guess maybe he was an investor. I mean, he could just be trying to represent Hex. But I had heard of that connection as well. Mm-hmm. And Clue, while you're here, did you ever hear any follow-up on that statement that was made in your live chat about the President Green possibly hearing something early in the morning in that book? I don't know. I thought you had said you were going to order it.
I didn't know. I'm not giving that man my money. But
yeah, right.
I'm sorry, but you are a freaking billionaire. You're okay. You know what I mean?
There's probably a free PDF out there by now.
Yeah.
For one, but I actually had a viewer.
I'm sorry.
Email me, or they texted me all the pages of that chapter.
Oh, of the Grim Reaper chapter?
Yeah, I think it is the Scott Green book. I know there's 2 out, right, that people have been bouncing back and forth between. But I think the one she sent was because the president signed it. She got the president's signature on it.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, if you email the publisher or the person responsible, you can get them to sign your book.
That's an autograph I don't want.
No.
That's some DNA
Right.
I can't be responsible to have on me. I don't know where he's been, actually. I have a guess. I do have a guess.
It's just weird. Like, I don't know. Like, some of the things I know, like, people think are probably outlandish. I get it. I'm the same way at times, but I do find it really weird that for the first time ever, the University of Idaho couldn't house all of their students, right? And then all of a sudden
Right.
this crime happens, and then willing to let go of these gold mine houses they've been sitting on forever.
Yeah, and aren't they supposed to be making some like apartment buildings? Wouldn't that help them?
That's what I would assume, because I heard somebody talking earlier about the Eagle Investment Group, which I had done a video on.
Yeah.
What's crazier is that Eagle Investment Group, there's 2 businesses registered at that address, and one is a development business. So you got to wonder, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's crazy.
We'll have to look into that. That's really good investigative work, Illuminati. I did see that video. It's really interesting. I'm gonna take another look at that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, you just got to look up the business but look up the address of the business, and you'll see that they're both registered to that same address. And I think the owner is like a lawyer or something in Moscow, real estate lawyer, if that helps.
What was it called again, the company?
Eagle.
Okay.
Eagle Investment.
You are really good.
I think that's interesting too when we talk about the house and the demolition. Just going back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. Another thing we discussed is you can replicate with the Oculus or whatever. You can replicate the 3D model, but it's kind of impossible to replicate what the house would look like from all the different clearing places where there's a clear view into the windows. So there was a clear view like into Maddie's bathroom window. There was a clear view from several different cleared sections. And I just find it interesting, whoever was we know that the Gonzalez family and the Mogan family, there was an article published that they reserved their right to hold a lawsuit if something was found liable. If the University of Idaho or the owner of the home, or excuse me, the city of Moscow or the university made any mistakes, they held their right to have a lawsuit, and they had to file that early on, like in March of last year. And I wonder, is the house the largest piece of evidence in more than one possible future case coming up? And, could that be part of it, is seeing where the house was? I just think that this is one thing we can't replicate, is the fact that if this was a stalking situation, now we can't see how easily it would have been to look in those windows. So,
okay.
I would think it'd be interesting to see who really pushed for the demolition of the house, because whoever that is or that group is, I think needs to be investigated a little
It
further.
was the university, right?
Yeah, the University of Idaho.
But someone donated it to them, and then they thought it was just best to demolish it. Like, that to me is like, it just kind of smarts of a cover up a little bit. So
no, I'm with you. I do agree with that.
I do too.
Agreed, Jamie.
Because I'm trying to tell you right now, like, these kids, they come from money, and these people that own these houses, it's guaranteed rent. You know what I mean? You're not taking a chance on a family that might not pay, or, you know what I mean? So why would you ever get rid of that? Like, recurring income is crazy to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to say they're going to make a memorial and not even rebuild I could see this after the trial, if they wanted to tear the house down and put up something new, just because, it's a stigmatized property. But it doesn't make sense.
But they're not doing the memorial. But the memorial is going on campus.
Okay. So you think they're going to build another house on that property?
If I want my honest, don't judge me, but I will say this. I think what they're going to do is level the 2 houses beside of it probably and build apartment complex.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think so.
Just wanted to welcome Dago to the
Chat.
Hey,
All right.
guys.
Hey, Dago.
Hey, how's it going?
Appreciate
Of course.
Great show so far. You're doing a great
Thank
job.
you. We were
Someone
very,
said-
very nervous.
Yeah. Someone says they're saying it's going to be low cost housing. I've never heard of low cost housing on a college.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. But I heard it on the news, so I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Near a college.
Didn't we do a show though?
That's what I said. I've never heard of low cost living apartments near college.
Right by a college, right?
No.
Right.
Prime.
We did a show a while back where me and her did a show together, and I think somebody came in the chat said something about student housing because it's right there by the frat row.
Yeah, and they need it, right? They said they didn't have enough
That's what I
housing.
think is going to happen. I think it's
agree.
going to become student housing, considering this year they couldn't even. They had people staying. I don't know if y'all know this, but they had kids staying in a hotel
Right.
in Moscow. Housed,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, I did hear that. Yeah,
The
because
resident
there wasn't enough
advisors.
place. Yep,
So I think they're going to build student housing, but that's just me. I don't know.
that would be the smart thing for them to do.
And enrollment's up. I think it was like at least 5% from the year before. So it's
Well,
it's not like that
12%.
stigmatized house. 12%. Well, even more to my point, it's not as if this house. And I understand, like, and I'm not trying to be insensitive to the poor people who are affected by this, but it's not. You know, if enrollment is up financially, I don't see how it's affecting the university. Like, it's not stopping people from enrolling or trying to find housing there. Obviously.
Well, they know they can get away with anything at that college, so it's probably a very popular destination now. You can kill 4 people. I would think, all those frat boys that want to
that
I
is
don't know.
true. It does cost the university. Their enrollment is up. Not to the point of they're not going to get back their tuition because it's not costing as much, but to rent out that hotel, that is an expense.
Oh yeah, it can't be cheap. They probably booked the whole thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They want to spend money to.
But you got-
I don't know why.
You got to look at it from a liability standpoint too, because it's your job as the university to house freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if something happens to those kids on the property of a hotel because you guys didn't have adequate housing, that's a huge loss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you
because they're
remember
collecting money.
Clue, do you remember the video way back that was put out about the sorority house where they thought somebody had broken in? They were looking for a guy. They showed the upstairs, like the attic of the sorority house, and they were like bunk beds all stacked together like military style.
Oh yeah, that's what a lot of these. I don't remember that video. No.
But there's been a couple put out like that, and it shows like they were charging like $600 some per bed basically per person. And like it's just overloaded with people. Like they have no room for anybody, and that was part of the reason why I thought that was a good possibility that they would be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, unmute me. Okay, I was on mute. Sorry. Do you guys feel that? So they weren't here before. We were discussing, or Kiki Swamp Rose brought up that drip drop seems to be taking a break. And do you guys feel possible that he came across something that was important to the case and was told not to?
I don't think so personally, but
I don't
that's
think
just
so
me.
either.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just like putting out longer content, so
That's
just
how
taking a long time.
I think that's how
Everybody-
he is. He's just mysterious.
Yeah.
Well, that's what somebody told me. That's what he started doing. He started doing interrogations.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he's
He's
So
like the
he-
interrogation guy.
They said he was going back to doing that again too. There was something he put in one of his community chats or something.
Which I mean, there is a lull in the case, right? We're not getting any new info.
Yeah,
so
there
I
is.
I don't blame him, right? I mean,
Yeah, there's a lot of new cases. Like, are you guys interested in any new cases? Do you want to discuss any other cases? Like we were discussing
I think
oh.
I heard. This is Bob, by the way.
Hi, Bob.
How you doing, Bob?
Good. I think I heard you guys talking about, or Kuminati maybe talking about shit.
Shit, yeah.
No, hang on. Hang on, I lost my train of thought.
We talk about that sometimes.
Only on Fridays.
On Friday. No, Saturday. It's
Fridays or Saturdays we usually go there. The Delphi case, I cover that one sometimes.
Yeah, you guys. I think one of you guys were talking about the YouTuber that recently he cut his.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't a YouTuber though, was he?
Yeah.
We did it on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, he posted it on YouTube.
Oh, I thought he had a channel. I thought that's what somebody said. He was a YouTuber.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And then you're
he
right.
was very political.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. This guy in Pennsylvania, he cut his dad's head off because he said he was like some kind of government employee, traitor, something, patriot stuff.
I believe his name was Jason Moan or yeah.
Moan. He was a Moan. He belonged to the Moan something. He called his father or something. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And he had really terrible music.
Horrible. Horrible.
Don't look it up. Don't listen to it. It's terrible.
Horrible.
I missed that.
And he posted the video, Swamp Rose. He put the video on YouTube of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put it up.
They took it off after what was it, 5-6 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours.
I don't know why I'm so oblivious to this. When did this happen?
Probably
what? Like a week or two ago?
I think it was last week. Yeah, I can't remember the exact day.
Need to stop following the TikTok psychic. I miss all these things.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy because it made the rounds. Like it made it to Twitter and everything. Like there were people seeing it. Like, and his dad was like a federal employee or something, and he was like against the machine, the government. You know, like, political. They're taking over. They're trying to whatever, and that's why he. And then it was terrible because like my heart was just like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Like his mom came home and found her husband, his dad, and it was like. I would lose my mind.
That's horrific.
You'd have to wonder though if they had seen any signs with this kid that he had some kind of issue. You know what I mean?
Yes, the neighbor said he would sit and stare at his house for like hours, and like all of a sudden he would just walk back inside.
What?
That reminds me of quite a few other people that I've seen do things they shouldn't do, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, I can tell you right now, if you're staring at my house, like I'm calling the popo. I don't give a damn. Like you got to go evaluate them.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
It gives hours to move.
Cajun chick, is that you up there? Is that right there? Who is this?
No.
Who is that?
That?
Yeah.
Oh, Tommy's here.
Gia.
Oh, that's Gia. She looks different in that view.
Me?
Yeah.
Because I had to come in the kitchen and start the chicken piccata.
Piccata time.
Oh, that's right. Chicken piccata.
Yeah, but I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave it. My son's texting me from upstairs. When is it ready? When is it ready? I'm like,
Tell Nico to join the panel.
Yeah. Right. Tell Nico I want to know what he thinks.
I do want to know what Nico thinks.
Here's Cajun chick.
Okay, put her up. Okay, Cajun chick, are you here?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. What did you have to say? I saw you in the chat. You said you want to be on panel.
I want Tommy to come up. Come on, Tommy.
Oh, you want me to come up? Is he in here?
Tommy. Yeah, he's in there.
Okay, put that link down there for Tommy. Just paste it. Okay. Okay. That's easy. So, Tommy, if you're in here, Tommy Jude, there he is right there.
Gave an update on Drip. Said that he's putting out longer content now, and he'll be back. And I heard an update too that he's got something real from one of his patrons left a comment saying that he's got something really big coming out really soon. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know how reliable the source is. But, yep.
Yeah. He told me when I was in this chat, he figured out the Idaho 4 case. So I don't know. He asked me if I figured it out. I said no.
Big statements.
Yeah, he makes big statements.
well, if he figured it out, is he going to tell the rest of us?
I hope he does.
Apparently not.
We're all trying to figure it out. Apparently, he's got
We've shared
Special
everything
powers.
else up until now. Why stop now?
Right? I have
What
no
about
idea.
you guys? Who's y'all suspects? I'm curious. If it's not Bryan, right?
If it's not Bryan, I feel like that there may be some Sigma Chi brothers involved. When you said about law enforcement, that's really interesting because they do have a history of sexual assault on the college kids. So that kind of made me think. But I feel like there is some involvement with Sigma Chi, and I think that one of the girls that's still alive has something to do with it.
Which one?
I think Dylan.
Dylan.
Yeah.
That's
She
my
seems like
opinion.
unreliable.
I think
And
that's
that's a guess. I mean,
that's I think that's a consensus with everyone at this point.
yeah.
I agree, but ever thought, like, have you ever just sat around thinking, like, Bethany, in all fairness, would be like the perfect one. Like, she's so cute, like all American cute, that you just never suspect.
Yeah,
Right.
and I feel like there was some, and this is all allegedly everything, front, back, center, everything. I think there was also drug dealing going on at that house. And I think there was an element of that somehow. And I think that, who knows, maybe Bryan Kohberger, if he was driving by there, was going to score something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if you guys think there's a link between Bryan Kohberger and Brent Kopaka. I haven't really looked into that. I know it like happened on the same day or something. Then he got pulled over, and Brent Kopaka was he shot? I think he was shot
by the
Yeah,
SWAT.
allegedly.
Yeah,
yeah,
That's
that's
the
what I'm saying.
weirdest. I will say this: that is the weirdest body cam footage I think I have probably ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought that it was very odd. It looks
Enlisting a
staged.
neighbor to help, it was very odd that they counted the neighbor, this young man who has nothing to, who just lives there, and he was making snacks for the SWAT team, helping them barricade with furniture. That was something I've never heard before either. I mean, just the saying they were going to use his apartment. Why did they not tell him to leave? Like, why was he staying still there making snacks for everyone?
There's like supposedly
Kind of makes me think that he wasn't as much of a threat as they tried to make him out to be, because I mean, your first job is to protect and serve. So why are you not protecting the individuals living in that building?
right.
Chopped liver, yeah.
Were they evacuated?
No, that's the problem.
No.
They didn't evacuate anybody like they should have.
Yeah. And it wasn't there, man, I swear it's your channel, Cluminati. I saw something about the cop. Oh, maybe it was Bubbly Waters. Something about the cop, the way he was treating the woman cop, and he was standing outside and he was like, wish I could fucking shoot her or whatever he said. Like,
Oh, he said something like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was outside of the.
seems a little like I feel like police officers, like, I just want to make it very clear, because someone named Jeff H thinks I hate law enforcement. I do not hate law enforcement. I think that there are some good cops and there are some bad cops, but I feel like
let that go.
They
Let
think
that go.
they think we all hate law enforcement. You're okay. Don't worry about it.
yeah, I really don't, but I feel like when you are in law enforcement, there should be like a limit of time that you can continue to serve without some kind of trauma therapy or some kind of, I feel that the job affects them a lot, and sometimes it affects them in the way that they become aggressive and misuse their power.
Yeah.
Some.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
Well, it happens. They get this sort of like complex, like almost like a, I don't want to say a God complex, because I don't want to use that.
It is.
Feel like
Exactly
it's that
what it is.
much. But I do feel like they're above like not retribution, but like consequence for anything they do. And then it's really bad, because I found this awesome article one time, and of course I can find it now, but it was talking about how all cops will start to work together and they will start to cover, and then if you aren't in that group, you will be booted the F out.
Yep.
Code blue.
Yeah, True Blue or Code Blue, whatever
Code
it is.
blue,
Yeah.
I think they call it. Yeah, the blue. It's blue. You bleed blue. Your code of silence, like the blue code of silence.
Brothers
And
in arms.
how noble
Yeah,
does that
there you
sound,
go.
right?
Brothers in
Let me
arms.
tell you too, if you ever, strange suspicion, Pia, if you ever go and read into some of the rituals that are involved, it almost, to me, kind of highlights the level of I got your back and I'll cover for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the white cross ceremony, whatever you've seen, whatever you've done, initiation is just a white. I'm telling, it's crazy. Like, it's some scary stuff. Like,
It's like the Masons, right? They're kind
I
of
don't want to
ridiculous.
compare it to the Masons, but in a way, yes. Like, it is.
Don't they have like frat guys have like rituals that involve like goats and like what else? What other animal would it be? Like goats and I don't know.
Like
I
the
didn't see
hazing.
anything about the animals, but I can tell you
secret societies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like walk around in robes, and I mean, it gives them specific. I have an article I can send you, but it gives them like specific instructions where to put things, what to use, get a room to rent if there's not one in your fraternity. Like it is. I mean, it's flipping crazy stuff to read.
Yeah. It's crazy that so many people go along with it too. Like it's weird. If somebody asked me to do some weird stuff like that, I would be like, nah, it's all right. Like it makes me cool to do that. I guess I'm not cool. I don't know. Because it seems like they do a lot of weird things, like nothing that you'd want to do. Something that could be used against you.
I can tell you
Exactly.
I won't tell you on here, but I can tell you one thing I know of they did, and it's like, let me tell you, the laugh we got at that. Yeah.
I think I know what you mean.
If you have ever watched my my show, it's just think of the Muffin Man. If you don't know what I mean, I'll tell you later.
Okay. I'll write that down. Muffin Man. Tommy, are you in here?
Yep.
How you doing?
Bring me up.
What do you say?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Bring me up.
You are up.
Oh, I am up. All right.
I was like, what?
I'm going between the phone and the computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
how's your son? Good? How's your son doing? Good?
Yeah, my son's doing good. Yeah. He's just really sore. He's got stitches on his head. He was bleeding in his urine, but they got that under control and he's going to be fine. So.
Oh, that's good.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Yeah, some scary shit, man.
Yeah, I saw the picture. It was
That
terrifying.
car, that car. The picture of the car is what sent me off.
That's a truck.
Oh, see,
What?
that's even worse.
Yeah, that's a truck.
Good Jesus. I'm glad he's all right, Tommy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Tommy, do you have any ideas of who you think could have done this besides Bryan?
Oh boy.
Not that I want to be biased. I don't want to be biased, but I'm curious.
Yeah, like everybody.
Everybody. I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, well, who did it? There's probably some lookouts. There were probably people driving. There was people involved in every aspect of it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people involved. It isn't.
I think so too.
I think Bryan might have seen it, what was going on.
I feel like if there was a link, right, and there was a video being passed around, accidentally or intentionally, that everybody saw, right, could Bryan have gotten that and thought like, wow, this is something that just happened. I'm getting my PhD in this. I want to go see it. You know what I mean? And then,
I think he was called. He was called to come over and watch some plates. That's what I think.
Or he could have been used like for his education to like.
Oh yeah, that too. I've heard of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Why does that muted? Maybe he wants it muted. Okay. Oh,
okay.
Sorry.
Bob's trying to figure out.
Easy Patsy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is one. And I did notice, remember in that video you did, you were talking about how the video footage looks scrubbed? Because there's like a, it's like kind of like a blur on one part of the video.
Shit. Well, look at, I mean, they scrubbed the one from the grub truck too. Watch Kaylee's legs on the way.
I would say no shit for being
flopping all over the fucking place. It's like, what the hell?
I know when
Right?
he's talking about when they're walking up there saying, "What did she say to Adam?"
Yeah,
Her
right.
legs do this weird bendy thing.
Yeah, they're flopping all over the place. And you know what? I knew that months ago. What's her name told me that? Billy. Billy told me that, and I said, and I kept telling her, "Oh, it's just fucking your imagination or something."
No, because there's a part there where there's a post, like where the car pulls up in that spot. You can see the post kind of like blend right through her legs.
Right. Yep.
And it's like, what the hell is that? You know?
Definitely a scrub, man.
But what are they? What would they like right in that moment? I try to think to myself, like, what could they possibly be scrubbing out right there?
I don't know. Not with the legs. I don't understand that one.
Hi, everybody. The only thing I can think is maybe a vehicle pulling up. They didn't want people to see.
That could be. That'd be the only thing, really.
Or
Yeah.
somebody else there.
What do you say?
Somebody else there, right?
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
sent me an email and asked me if I thought somebody else was in that video at that point, that they walked up and met somebody there. And I said, wow, I never thought of that. I don't know.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me up here.
Yeah.
I wanted
Open-
to touch base on something before we went like way off course on the theories. I really agree with I think it was Lou Clunanon. I can't say her name. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's okay. I get nervous, so I when I get nervous, I'll stutter. But I do believe that they're going to do something else with that property, like she was saying. But they have to fix the fact that the way that land is set up isn't good, because there's too much mud, water. It's even seeping into the other houses on the other side. And then Robert has found the fact that they are selling these properties. They are doing this, and what she's saying, them putting a affordable living housing there, I believe that they are going to do that and open that road from the King Road all the way to that back there. So that would go over that huge mountain they can't knock down. So it's in the city planning. It's not approved yet. So you guys can see it in the city planning.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Very interesting.
Okay, who's all in here?
It's Kiki and Gia and you and Dago and Cluminati. Did I miss anybody?
Hey, Diego, Cluminati.
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm alive. Barely, but I'm alive.
Always a plus.
I just got up, man.
AR.
AR, get on that link.
Yeah, I got to sleep at about noon, man.
At least
Hey, you just woke up, right, Tommy?
At least
that?
I'm now.
You just woke up, right?
Yeah, I just woke up, man.
Oh, I wish I could sleep all day.
Oh, Emma Bailey's here too, guys.
I didn't sleep all day. That's the problem. I got to bed at noon.
Oh.
Wow.
What did you say?
Yeah, Tommy pulls them all-nighters all the time. I don't know how you do
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I was on the computer at I don't know what time. And Pia, you and I were talking.
Oh, what?
What time was that? Like 11 o'clock this morning or something?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were still awake and you were
I
trying
was
to
still awake, yeah.
get yourself to get to sleep. You need to rest, honestly.
Yeah, you really do, brother.
Yeah, I'm okay now.
Are you doing any videos soon, Tommy?
I'm taking a day off today, but I'll probably be back out tomorrow. I like doing those little shorts at like 4 a.m, you know, 3, 4.
I noticed that. I'm like, oh my God, he already put one out, like when I wake up. AR Hayes does that too. I noticed he does that.
Yeah, and Harsh does it. And
I was gonna say you started taking over, coming up in Harsh's time slot, freaking me out. Up in the
right. Well, all of a sudden something will hit me, you know. Oh man, you know, I got to put something out about this, you know.
Before you forget, right?
Yeah.
I have a question. for you folks. Since I have these 3 panel members here, I was wondering if you could give us a update on another true crime case, which I was following. And I first heard about this in Tommy's live stream. I was watching Pia do her first premiere on there, and a breaking case came on, and it just gripped my heart. It was a woman, Donna Cross, and I never got an update of that story. I know she was found, but they made an arrest. But the last I heard, another arrest was coming, and then there was almost like a radio silence, and I stopped following the case.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
There hasn't been any more arrests.
No.
I think the last info I think me and you have the same info, Tommy. The last thing it was, there was a couple of the charges that were put against him were dropped, and it's coming down to where it looks to me, at least, like there's no relation between the guy that was arrested and what happened with him.
That's what the last official timeline said, that his arrest didn't have anything to do with her.
Right. Yeah. That was the last thing said.
That was, and there's been nothing else.
Is there suspected foul play in the case still? I don't know what the condition of her remains.
I don't think so. Don't quote me, but I don't think so.
It's a tragedy all around, but
I know that ARA was following that pretty closely.
I mean, there's something plucked up about it. I mean,
definitely, yeah.
A cop shouldn't be dropping off somebody like that in the middle of the fucking nowhere
ever. And that is a huge park. It's huge. It's like millions of acres.
It was 3 miles from her address, from what I understand, when I saw on a map of where she was dropped off and where they were intentionally meant to bring her. And I find it so breathtaking, because she came out of surgery, brain surgery. She wasn't in a condition, and I just in that type of weather, in that inclement weather, to leave a patient just off I don't know the circumstances, but I just wonder, have any of these questions been answered? Has anybody found out any updates? It sounds like it's about where it was when I last looked at it.
Is that Kiki?
Yeah.
Hi, Kiki. I don't got my glasses on. I'm sorry, man.
AR's up on the panel too.
Oh, sweet. Is he up there now?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, AR, you want to give us the information about Donna?
Yeah, he's got the information. Yeah.
More than all of us.
Yeah, from what I understand, and I've only gotten a little bit of information from her actual brother that lived just up the street. There's not really much new coming out, other than the fact he stated that they do not believe foul play was involved at all. Of course, they are going to be looking at the emergency services and how the sheriff's office handled that, but they're not going to release any of that information until obviously far down the road and more info is let out. And he seems to be a very genuine, very decent man. I didn't know him when I was talking with Donna, but he very genuine, very nice man. I definitely wish them the best, and I've just kind of stayed back and let them handle it and grieve in their way. I know they had the funeral not long ago and the burial, so I just felt it was best. I kind of took a step back, let them go and handle it their way, and hopefully we can find out more and see what we could do to improve situations like that, because it seems to happen a lot, and I think it affects a lot more people than we know. And hopefully we can dive in and we can find answers, and we can make sure other people's loved ones don't get lost in the same way.
Amen. Thank you for the update. And, thank you for the words of wisdom.
Well, I don't know if I have words of wisdom, but that's a little bit of what I know.
But to try and do something, you know, our focus should now be on to try and figure out where the system was broken and what we can do to make change.
And I agree. And, you know, I kind of, as I'm sick right now, I have COVID right now, but I'm a diabetic and I worry. Yeah. So I've been down. I've been off. I haven't put up a video in a while. My wife's been looking at me like, you've been lazy, haven't been working. But literally, I've been asleep for a couple of days and just finally moved around today.
Wow.
But I believe every single one of us, especially those of us that have health issues or have family members that do, need to really worry about a situation like this because my wife has power of attorney over me. And I know if I'm in a bad diabetic situation and they tried to release me or ship me off in some police car to get me home somewhere, I might not be mentally capable. You know, I might not be able to tell you where I need to go or why I need to get there. And that's why my wife has power of attorney. So Donna had a power of attorney. You know, somebody else had that say, and they never made that call. And that's a scary thought.
Wait.
It's a very
I'll
scary
be
thought.
right back here.
Wasn't that part of wasn't there another agency AR involved? This is Dago, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
Yep.
Involved in passing that call off to the sheriff's department.
Yeah,
I believe so.
That's what we
I'm sorry, Clue. Go ahead. Clue, you know. Go ahead.
Tell you, I'm totally with AR on this one because I don't know why the hospital would have ever wanted her to leave anyway.
Exactly.
Just without somebody who's responsible for her to pick her up. And I do know, I read it the other day. It was like a cop who was at the hospital, some other business.
It was city police, right?
Yeah, the city police.
Right.
The hospital contacted them about her, and then the city police called the deputy, the sheriff deputy, right? I'm thinking because it was out of like the city limits, if you will. And then the deputy came to the hospital and picked her up and then dropped her off.
Correct. Yep. And, you know, kind of just a self-story to kind of give people an idea of how it's supposed to work. A couple of years ago, I was getting set to be released from the hospital for a diabetic issue, and they force called my wife to come get me. They would not let me out of my bed to even begin the discharge until there was somebody there to pick me up.
Yeah,
they would not let me leave on my own.
I'll tell you what, man. Go ahead, Air. I'll wait till you're done.
No, I'm good. Go ahead, Tommy.
Well, I've had, I can't get COVID for one thing. I'd die. I mean, I got a heart valve and pacemaker, 11 stents. I've had 30 surgeries, but one time I had surgery and they don't let you leave, man, unless somebody comes up to pick you up. Well, I called this ex-girlfriend of mine, and because my truck was out in the parking lot, but I was not. They gave me fentanyl, dude. But I felt okay, right? I felt okay, and they came, and I had that friend come and pick me up. It looked like she picked me up, and then she just went and dropped me off at the truck. You know what I mean?
Well,
and then I drove home, but halfway home, that fucking fentanyl, dude. Holy fuck! I was so fucked up. I didn't know if I was gonna make it home, but I did. But it was scary as hell.
Yeah, I was thankful that they actually held me until my wife came, because there would have been no way I would have made it home. There would have been no way I would have made it on my own. So,
I know.
Right.
I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I used to work in EMS and fire, and I know for a fact that, like, when we would transport people to the hospital for specific, like, that was part of our paperwork. You know, if we had to transport somebody like to the emergency room for an emergency situation, do you have a reliable form of transportation to pick you up? Do you have a power of attorney? Do you have who's your next, who to contact for emergency? That was in like ambulatory paperwork. They stated that she was taken to the hospital by ambulance because her daughter-in-law was home with the kids, and I believe her son was at work, if I'm correct. And therefore, they had to call an ambulance to transport her there to begin with. So in turn, that should have been handled twice. Once by, ambulatory services, and then the hospital themselves should have double, like, backed on that. You know what I'm saying? And not released her in that sense. But, I mean, I do remember that the daughter said that they thought they'd be keeping her at least until morning, and that's why. But again, she also stated in that interview that nobody was called. The son nor her were called. And
the family wasn't notified at all.
Right. That's what I thought.
That's what makes me wonder. Something dirty went on, man.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. In conversation with the brother, he said nobody in the entirety of the family thought there was any chance of her being released or going home any time before going to the long-term rehab. There was no chance of it. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, she's missing. And nobody even thought about it to look for her for 2 days because they didn't even know she had been out.
That's
Wow.
just crazy, man.
I want to ask another question, which is when I've dealt with surgery.
Everybody let her down. Everybody let
That's
her
very sad.
down.
I agree with that.
So when you get a surgery and you leave the hospital, there's always one person before those next layers are called, which is the discharge coordinator. And it's usually a nurse. And so they make the plan of care for when you're dismissed. So if that means you're going to long-term rehab, then they make those arrangements. But that discharge nurse, just post-op, I shouldn't say nurse, the discharge
Well,
coordinator.
she wasn't there for surgery. She had the surgery. She went to the emergency room because of a complication.
Yeah, she had
okay, that's where I'm
the
missing.
medication that she was taking was causing water on the brain.
Hydroencephalitis.
Thank you. There you go. And that was why she went in, because she had been crawling. The pain was so bad that she had to crawl around on the floor. She couldn't stand upright. She was having other bodily functions that were not working correctly. So they sent her to the ER like immediately, and they were supposed to regulate the medication she was on to keep that from stopping. Now, I like I said, I've dealt with this before. It's hard for me to imagine that they actually went in, did a CAT scan, MRI, and released her and fixed the problem all in that period of time, that same day. That's something I have an issue with, knowing what I know about that stuff. So
it's not even possible. Even getting a diabetic checkup to get your sugar checked takes 3 hours.
Yes, sir.
So don't tell me all that happened in a couple hours. It's not possible.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Just to go get, if I have to go to the ER, if my wife says, Albert, you're going to the emergency room right now, we know it's an 8 to 10 hour wait. We just know it.
Oh, yeah.
We know all the tests. We know how long it takes them to weigh you and and that's if it's an emergency. I mean, if you're not even seen as an emergency, you're there till whenever they decide to see you.
Yes.
So
she had had brain surgery. I think it was in November, and went back into the hospital in December for a problem she was having. Then was released again, and then went back when this all went down. And I know, like, I had brain surgery in 2000. I was in the hospital for 5 days. It was probably a different surgery, but they still have follow-up, a regular follow-up with doctors and you know what I mean, on a regular basis. There's no way that they could have seen her and released her that same day and that she was sound to go home, is what I'm saying. It just, that really, really bothers me, and it always has with that.
I mean, my biggest question is, did they even see her?
That's what I was going to say. Thank you.
I mean, I just wonder if they even checked her in, or because even the brother that's talked to me has said, well, we haven't seen any documentation of anybody even checking her or weighing her or anything. So
she called her son at 7:30 that night too. You remember that, AR? And
yeah.
spoke to him at 7:30. So if we could find out what time she was dropped off at the hospital by ambulatory services, that itself would say, did she actually even go back? Because it would state she was sitting in the waiting room and she had been discharged.
From what I heard, she got there like 5:45 p.m.
Okay, then. See, that doesn't make any sense. There's no way in hell that she had anything done.
Yeah.
She didn't
Up to
wait.
her 7:30, right?
Yeah, she spoke to her son at 7:30. Didn't say anything about being picked up or being done or seeing or anything. And then she was picked up at 11:30, I think, by the deputy, or somewhere in that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Somewhere in that realm.
Yeah, and what's crazy about it is a lot of people said she dialed the phone number to her son to talk to him. No, the hospital did. She did not dial it.
Why did she not dial it? Did she not have the motor skills at that point, or was there
evidently the hospital dialed it for her and handed the phone up and over the intake area, wherever you fill out your paperwork. They handed the phone up and over that. And she was sitting on a chair just on the other side. This is just from what people have told me. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know. I've got bits and pieces from family members. They're willing and very graceful in the way that they've shared it with me, but nobody believes she picked up the phone on her own, that someone actually did it for her, handed it to her, and may even held the phone for her because she was that out of sorts that she possibly could not have held the phone herself.
That makes sense. I mean, if she couldn't stand upright on her own and she had to crawl and she was, not to bring up anything bad, but they said she was urinating on herself and things like that, I would imagine that like her motor skills and like functionality is way off. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's just sad. That's just completely sad for me.
And like I've told people, I've known her for quite a while through the Facebook groups. We did a lot of conversations. So I will be one that will admit, in the past, going through the situation she was going through and the surgeries, I have spoken with her. In those times, she was not coherent, very hard to understand her, very hard to communicate with her. And that just at that time, you kind of just have to do your best idly to try to get off the phone and not, because you just kind of wasted your time. She had no idea what you were saying. You're just trying to be nice. But there are other times where she was there and fully coherent, and you could always tell the difference. So I can only imagine. I don't see that she could have possibly been healthy, mentally stable, or capable of making these phone calls on her own. Because if she was capable of doing that, I honestly believe she would have just said, "Hey, son, by the way, they're releasing me. I'm not going to be spending the night. I need to come home. Then we could go to long term tomorrow. Can you come get me?" I mean, it's a simple phone call. It's really not a hard phone call for somebody that's actually there and coherent. If you're not coherent, it's a very difficult phone call. You have no idea what you're saying. So
and it sounds like she could have been confused when she was telling the deputy, like, this is her brother lived right down the road. If she is confused, like, drop me here, this is where I think he lives, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? That could be really do so.
Just as a fellow human, you'd think not as a formal cop dropping you off here, official person. Just as a human, on a freezing cold night, when somebody's leaving the hospital who possibly has some sort of impairment, I just find it so strange that even just a person in a normal car probably wouldn't choose to, or would choose to leave someone on the side of the road, let alone why would you leave someone in the middle of nowhere? Because I saw the drive in a short after that. A woman, I thought it was on Tommy's channel, and forgive me if it wasn't, but she basically took her cell phone and drove from that point and kept driving, and there were no houses for like, I don't know, 3 minutes. So
Yeah, it's a long drive. It's way out there. Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like a mile and a half, I believe, is what they said, right? A mile and a half away from where she should have been dropped off. It's where she got dropped off.
It was 3 miles from her brother's, and then I think they found her a mile and a half from her brother's. So she had made it like halfway. The thing is, we talked about this on my channel, I think Clues as well, that if it being that the deputy is a deputy, she's a civil service worker. If Donna were to say that you drop me here right now, even if the deputy thinks that it's not a good idea, in a way, she kind of has to follow that. Because it can be her job, and that if she goes against what Donna said, unfortunately, she can get in trouble because of that kind of thing, sadly. Now, I agree with you. I would have done it anyway, but still, you know what I mean? That could be why that decision. I
agree with you to a point, Diego, but they also, you and I both know, emergency services and police officers can override a mental illness issue. If they feel you're at risk for yourself, they can literally put you in the hospital on their own say and accord.
I do agree.
I've had it happen to me, so I know that for a fact.
Oh yeah, you can pink slip somebody, but I was told that the deputy was new. She was a very nice person, so on and so forth. I don't know her, so I can't justify that, but I don't know if she was nervous, if she was confused. The deputy herself didn't know the situation because it was, again, passed off to her by a city police officer, which is, I think, that's where the ball was dropped first, right there. That shouldn't have been done. If that would have not been done and it would have been handled right, none of this probably would have happened. So
the ball really gets dropped off at the intake person at the hospital that is at the ER
we'll
that
go
should
that
have said, hold on, everybody, let's put a stop for a minute and figure out what the hell's going on. Let's just figure it out, and then we'll move on from there. That lady, Donna, should have never left that hospital with anybody other than a family member.
I agree.
Somebody that was going to be side by side, watching over her shoulder for the rest of the night, because you never know. She could have fell down, hit her head, got sick again, whatever might have happened. And at least if you have a family member there, well, now that person takes full control of what happens, not somebody that, unfortunately has a job to do outside of that. And that's why I never point the blame at any individual one person, especially an officer or medical. But the system itself needs to be looked at on a way that we could better that and fix it.
Well said. Really well said. 'Cause
Amen.
I hope I doesn't sound like I'm pointing on anyone. I'm just asking questions because it's such a, as you know, it's a breathtaking case, and I just don't know all the details. So, but well said, AR.
I'm right there with you. I mean, it literally blows your mind when you think about it, the things that happen. And I got shook up because I knew her. She was a part of my Facebook group for a long time. And I just kind of got attached to her because of some of the conversations that we had. And then, someone reaches out to me, hey, do you want to possibly cover a case? And well, whatever, I'll look at it. Then I saw the name and I had to take a double take. And then it blew me away. I was almost just speechless and mind boggled. And at first I was angry, and then I got more angry. And, I had to step away from it. I'm glad you guys all did a great job. You guys covered it well. I'm so appreciative because I had to step away from it. I was pissed. I was angry about it. And, I'm glad now that things are coming to a better light. Maybe some changes will happen. Maybe some people will get talked to and some new regulations go into place. And that's what we need to do. We need to fix problems, not just always punish people. We need to fix problems. So hopefully they can do that.
Agreed. Well said.
And by the way, Pia, thank you so much for allowing me to come up, and a big congrats to you. I've watched you grow and grow and grow, and you're part of the team. I'm sure every single one of us is proud and excited for you. And, I wasn't planning on coming up, but I saw the panel and I had to jump up here. Very, very proud of you. Very, very, very proud of you.
Thank you, AR. And thank you for putting that video out too. That was shocking. I was I was so proud I showed my mom. I'll tell you that.
Well, you know what? Awesome. Everybody on this panel has done the very same for me. They have all stood up for me and they've all backed me. And you know what? We're all here for you now. And we're all a team. We're all a team, whether we agree or disagree or whatever it might be. We're all a team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel the same way. I don't think anybody on this panel doesn't deserve anything except respect. You guys are all really, really good creators. You do a lot of good research, and it's really cool that you have like a community, like an actual community of true crime. I've seen other I know there's different cliques. I know there's this true crime section where there's I think the lady's name is Bullhorn Betty, and then there's I don't know, it's a whole different thing. You know what I mean?
And
it's a whole different thing.
Different levels to the community. That's right.
Absolutely. And I think we all do original type content. I think that's why we all have a lot of the same subscribers, because they like true crime, but they like it presented in different ways.
I always say we get beat up in our own ways.
Yeah, you missed that part. We were talking about that. We were talking about people getting bullied and crazy people emailing us and rumors. Was there anything you wanted to say about that topic? AR?
Yeah, no. I just don't. I just don't.
What topic? What'd you say?
About
I just don't.
Huh?
Rumors about people. I thought there was.
Oh no, I don't want to start that.
The one thing I'll say is people come out with the rumor. I'm an ex-convict. I used to steal and lie and cheat. Hey, you know what? It's not rumor. It's true. I used to be that, but I'm not anymore. New day and age. We're moving forward. We're having a good time. I've got new
That's just what
quests,
they
new
are,
ideas.
rumors. That's what they
Yeah.
are, is rumors, and I don't like that kind of shit, man.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think it has any place in true crime. I think true crime should be about true crime.
Yep. Guys, we just keep moving forward. We talk about the cases. We dive deep. We support each other. We enjoy it. Even if we disagree, laugh about it, move on. Who cares? Go talk about another case.
Unless your name is Jeff.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Wow, Jeff, you can talk. Holy cow, he talked for a long time, right?
You know what, though, guys? I'm gonna say something. Jeff has always been very, very good to me, and I can't say anything bad to him. He's been very good to me.
Are we talking about Jeff H?
We are.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
we love Jeff H. too.
That's what
He's
I said that. Trying to get the rise out of it.
I'm going to tell you what. I've had great conversations with Jeff H. I've had great conversations in private. I've had great conversations with all of you, so I don't have a bad word to say about anybody in this entire community. So that's where I stand.
It was a great panel the other night, and he added a different. He added the other side to the panel, which is a good thing to have. You got to have someone that goes that road too.
Yeah, you have to have all sides to be able to fully comprehend. And that's one thing that I have to learn to be even better at, because sometimes I shut down my listening skills when I don't like what somebody else is saying. And I need to hear them out. That way I can actually debate on it in a proper way, or I can formulate a better understanding of what they're actually trying to say. So growing is always good, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I appreciate all of you guys for allowing me to come up today. I don't know how much longer I'm going to make it. I might fall asleep, or this is. I'm telling you, I'm sure you guys have all had your sickness too, but this one with the diabetes, my sugar levels are 600-700, and my insulin's not working, and
Yeah,
so it's like
you gotta watch taking them steroids with that sugar, bro.
Yeah. So
they're not a good mix.
But yeah, so I'm going to bow down off the panel. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for letting me come up. Pia, big shout out. Great job. Proud to see you grow. And great job to all of the rest of you as well.
Take care, brother.
Yeah,
Bye now.
Bye.
I've known AR for a long time, even before I was in true crime. I've known him for ever.
He's a super good guy. I think he has a big heart.
And I have to jump too, but I've really enjoyed this. Pia, excellent job. Bob, excellent job. Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
Nice to meet some of you that I haven't met before, and I hope to see you all again.
Bye, Gia.
Right on.
Bye. Have a great
Come
night.
meet me.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, Gia. Thank you so much.
I'm waving, like I can wave bye. Oh my god.
I'll wait back so you don't feel left out, Clue. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. So who's coming out with the next video out of everybody? Who's the soonest video that we can?
I was watching Kiki this morning on the drip drop deal.
What do you think?
I think he's taking a break from this case. And I think that all the crap that was said, I think he just said, "Fuck this! I don't need it."
Are you talking about AR?
No,
No.
Oh, I thought you were. I was watching your video.
No, I appreciate your insight into that. I mean, we're all just kind of wondering. We have heard, can't confirm anything, but there's a lot of speculation as to why he's taking a break, and it sounds like there's been a lot of stress from third parties after him, but he's strong, and he apparently he's got some.
He's put out other videos though. He's put out videos about other cases.
He's got another channel too that he's been putting stuff on.
Yeah, he's got the cult channel too.
Yeah, he's really built both of those channels on the interrogation, Freedom of Information Act interrogations. But I'd love to see, just when we have new stuff coming out in court. He's just been with us the whole time, or I should say I've only been doing this podcast for close to 5 months now, but I've been following the case since the beginning. and I've been watching Drip Drop from the
Right.
beginning. And it's just, you know, I want him along for the, you know, the long haul, because I've always found value in hearing his opinion.
Yeah, I think
Whether we agree
I
or
think he
not.
should come back. I think he's got more people that like him in this community that don't like him. You know what I mean?
He has a huge following. Huge.
Right, huge following. Yeah, yeah. I think the last I seen wasn't he at like 70,000 or something?
I think he's higher than that. 100. I thought it was 100 something.
It could be 100 something now. Yeah, I'm sure.
Both channels, he built both channels to over 100,000, which is
he's
just
up there.
phenomenal. It's
All right. Yeah.
And his views per video are insane. He gets like 100,000 views per video. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
more than his subscriber count. So
Yeah.
which is really amazing to see.
Right.
There's only a few creators who pull that off, who have that kind of formula for their videos. So it's
Usually,
And come on, he gave us the booms.
right. Wait, didn't Emerald Lagasse do that though? Didn't he come up with that first?
Who?
Emerald Lagasse? Didn't he used to do that?
Bam. He said bam.
Oh, bam. Okay.
Bam.
All right. I guess
Yeah.
it was
Emerald, the chef. I remember that. Yeah.
I'm just joking around. Anyway.
Yeah, that's where everybody got the boom from, right? Drip Drop.
Yeah.
I noticed a few channels doing that, and I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that."
I've done it. I've done it.
You did? You did boom?
Yeah, but I give him credit, you know.
Yeah. It's kind of like Batman-y, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like boom pow, whatever they used to say.
Right?
Yeah.
Bam, I think.
Yeah, I like his channel. I think it's a good channel. I think it's good that he like uses makeup so that people won't see what he looks like.
All right. Yeah, he keep it. I'm pretty sure he's from Canada, though. He's from Canada, I'm pretty sure.
I like the background music he plays as he's getting ready to bring the big deal to you. He's got that build up music playing in the background.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh, he's an awesome creator, man.
yeah, he really is. He puts out a ton of content.
Imagination for sure.
Oh yeah, creative and imaginative.
That's all of us, Deborah.
Yeah. It's interesting though. Like I watch all of you guys, and I'm trying to think like. It's like if I put all of your opinions together, I might get my own. I don't know. But I feel like my opinion relates a lot with Tommy's and with AR and Cluminati. I haven't seen too much of Dago. I think I saw Dago on Cluminati's,
You
maybe?
usually see him lately. It's me and her been doing them together. So yeah, that's probably
Yeah, that's probably where it was from. Yeah, we were looking for your link just now. I feel bad.
So
Look at all
yeah,
this stuff.
I will say, I watched Tommy's last night, and you brought up a boom yourself, right?
I did?
I don't think anyone else has
big
like
time.
mentioned or talked about
big time.
how brass
Yeah.
it's almost impossible to get a DNA off of.
That blew
Yeah.
my mind. Blew my mind.
Yeah, I was in the army, so I kind of picked up that information.
How what?
So like
I
the
said I was in
brass
the army.
you have
so.
on the sheath, right? It's brass, right? That's what they're
Oh,
made
right.
from. And if you, I actually, well, not me, but someone we were talking to at the time, we heard that he pulls up all this info on it, and like that's legit. Like it's 4 hours or 12 that you can only get the DNA off of. So it kind of makes you wonder if it was on the snap. And they didn't even go there for 8 hours. Then 4 hours later is when the forensic people showed up. Then how did you lift the DNA off of the snap?
Right. That's going to be, if you put something out about that after the fact, that's going to be huge because it's crazy. Blew my mind. Completely blew my mind.
I think the prosecution is going to try to stay away from the DNA. I really do.
They should. I don't think they can prove anything.
I agree.
What else do they have? I wonder.
I think they have in circumstantial to tie into the case.
They know how weak of a case they got. They know how weak. But you know what? I think there is definitely they're still investigating.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
still investigating. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was just saying today that it makes me nervous. I mean, Tommy and Clue, I don't know about anybody else in here, but you guys kind of know what my stance has been on this as far as whether Bryan is guilty or not guilty or whatever. But, the fact that the prosecution's been so quiet lately, and it's all we've heard from is the defense, it really makes me wonder: do they have something that they're sitting on that they've pulled out of there? I don't see what it could possibly be, but it's made me look at it just a little bit harder than I normally do.
Yeah, because
maybe
what
more
could it be?
DNA. They could have more DNA. They only have to talk about one.
Right.
Yeah, they had 3 untested ones, right? That's what the Ann Taylor was saying early on.
I meant, but I meant like of his, right? Like he could
Right,
have,
yeah.
he could have slobbered or something. You know what I mean? And they, I hate to say it like that, but he could have just some spit fly out, and they have that, and they didn't put it in the PCA because they didn't need
or sweat, like
or other kind of spit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's pretty. I guess that's pretty like. That's pretty like easily
Wait,
tested.
is he talking about? Are you talking about like?
Yeah.
Oh
well.
The other kind of spit. I
Now I know why Fiance was dying laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at?
You're like, what is so funny, Cletus?
Ejaculation.
Ejaculation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't they test that? Don't they test that? I think they do.
The other kind of spit. I'm like, what?
I don't know what you
him?
can say on YouTube.
Cletus said that would be the only Jack that's not involved in this point.
That's right. See, or maybe not. Maybe he did it after the fact, whoever it was. Maybe, you know what I mean? Some people are sick. They like that kind of thing. Like blood. Yeah. It's weird, but I don't know. I feel like maybe Bethany got a ride home, or maybe, I don't know where Bethany works. I don't know what she was doing, but maybe, I mean, like, why would you kill somebody and leave the knife sheath?
Why would you walk in there with the knife sheath?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, look what we know, right? Look what we know.
You need
just
both
think,
your hands.
Just think of what they really do know. They know he didn't do it, or that he, at least he wasn't the weapon guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know, but
he could have been like a
maybe they don't have enough evidence to make the arrests. Maybe they're waiting, you know, maybe they're still building a case. I don't know. I just know this case is fucked up, man.
It is. I don't know how they're still holding him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if there's if you get arrested, right, and then you prove or some evidence is brought forward that you're not guilty, they let you leave. You know what I mean?
I think he's already been exonerated behind the scenes. Remember when he said, I can't wait to get back to be exonerated? I think he's been exonerated.
Well,
already.
The document that I read today, it kind of floored me a little bit. It was one of the new documents that they just
what happened today, man? I don't
it's all right, Doc. I get it.
Was it the same doc as my dream that I had in my dream?
We dropped 2 documents from the first, okay? And they were, one was about allowing everybody except for Gabriela Vargas to look at certain paperwork.
Oh, yeah, I read that. I did a show on that when I first came out.
And then the other one, I can't remember, but they said something in there about basically putting it in layman's terms that no matter what happens, that Bryan will never leave their custody. In a sense, is basically what they said.
That Bryan would what?
That they would never relinquish custody of him at that point. That's in my own words. Custody. You know, he would never go free. He would never go free, basically. Regardless of whether it turned in that direction or whatever they could do, they're not going to let go of custody of him.
Well, they'll have to if he's found not guilty.
And it kind of blew me away that they would even put that in writing in the document. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny in itself. That's weird. How can they say something like that?
Exactly.
Are they?
It's
Do you think they're inferring that he's a danger to the public, or are they inferring that he might be involved in some other situation?
The way it was worded, I can't remember exact words. Let me see if I can pull it up and I'll read it to you real quick.
Because I know that sometimes when they're deciding things, if somebody is determined to be possible danger to the public, they can hold a hearing, from what am I understanding, to hold them if it's
right, of course. Let me see if I can find this real fast and I'll read the exact words to you guys.
Yeah, I want to hear this. Wow. How can they say that? I mean, he hasn't even been found guilty yet. What the fuck?
It kind of like it makes you wonder about his safety.
What's that?
It makes you wonder about his safety there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That was the first thing I thought of when I was reading that, and I stopped and went,
Is
wow.
it? All right.
Hold on a minute here. Let me get it. Hold up for you. Oh, wait a minute. There it goes.
Yeah, that's what makes me think that there's another investigation going on.
It was the order denying the defendant's motion to reconsider and motion for permissive appeal. Okay. 1 second here. Let me get it.
Permissive appeal.
Okay. The what? I can't read any of that. Let's see. I was going to see what somebody said in the comments, and then you went too high up. Okay, Tony Stevenson. What is Tony Stevenson saying? Everybody's telling him to... I don't understand. I can't read the chat.
Okay. I think it's the last page here.
oh, he's talking about Vargas.
Yeah,
Pia.
Vargas? Oh, okay.
Saying she disqualified herself from being
Yeah, I think Tony's right there. Vargas went on Lana's show. That might have disqualified her.
Oh.
She wasn't supposed to say anything. She was on a gag order.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes on Lana's show. And not a very smart move, really.
I know it. Like, why would she do that? It's so weird.
I know.
Maybe she didn't want to be on the case anymore.
That's what I'm thinking. After the FBI visit.
Yeah, that would be an easy way to do it.
All right. I think this is the part where it was written. It's in the last page of the second document. There's like 5 pages in this one. Well, let me get to that point. I don't want to bore you guys with all of it. Okay, so the IAR 12 only creates an appeal in the exceptional case and does not broaden the appeals, which may be taken as a matter of right under a IAR 11. And then they throw in a case that they looked at. It was the intent of IAR 12 to provide an immediate appeal from the interlocutory order. If substantial legal issues of great public interest or legal questions of first impression are involved, while this case in and of itself is exceptional in that the defendant is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and is facing the death penalty if convicted. The issues raised by defendant's motions to dismiss the indictment are not exceptional, nor are they substantial legal issues of great public interest or legal questions of first impression. If the grand jury proceedings were routinely reviewed by appellate courts before jury trials, the system, both at the trial level and at the appellate level, would become bogged down. The grand jury is merely an investigative body tasked with determining if there is probable cause for defendant to face the charges against him. Nothing the grand jury did has any bearing on the ultimate question of defendant's guilt or innocence. Where did that go? That's not that part, Clue. Where was that at?
Yeah, where are you at, brother? I keep waiting.
First off, you started reading that, not me.
He's trying.
He starts out with once upon a time.
Thus, there are no substantial grounds for indifference. I swear, you know where I'm talking about, Clue, right?
It was what you read today?
Yeah, remember earlier? Or were you not listening to me? See? See?
Half.
My voice always does that, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking right here, guys. I'm sorry, but it was in one of these forms here.
Was it that?
It was the second one loaded on the first, I think. Permission to appeal.
Motion and all certain experts investigation.
That one?
View
first, yeah.
The very last one loaded in.
The motion for permissive
So
appeal.
what? I'm gonna have to read up on this. You said there's about 5 pages.
Yeah, on the second document.
No,
On the first document, is it pertaining to the same thing though? So when they were referencing the interlocutory with the IR 11 and 12?
The first document was just about showing, basically allowing specific investigators or witnesses to view documentation and stuff like that. Where the hell did that go?
It's because every time I hear that interlocutory, I think to myself,
right,
what other case is involved? Like what, you know, because my understanding, it means there's another unresolved case that is tied into this one.
We put a lot of them in here too. I'll be damned. I can't find that damn setting in 2024, blah, 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 blah. Dismiss it. Oh, wait a minute. No.
That's one you just read, I think. That page.
Not it either. What in the hell? I know I read it today because it really stumped me when I read it. Like, wow, that was just a bit too much. But
well, you gave us something good to dive into.
It's in one of these documents, folks. I
Is
promise.
it this one right here? It's the second document.
I believe it's in the order denying defendant's motion to reconsider and motion for permissive appeal. And the way that it read was, like I said, that no matter what the scenario came out to be, in a sense, was that he wouldn't be leaving their custody. So I'm trying to find where the hell it's at.
Substantial legal issues.
Why would they even say that? Why would they say that?
That was my question.
Okay. If grand jury were routinely reviewed by appellate courts before jury trial, the system both, I cannot read that. Can you read it? Right there, the system
Both at the
trial level
and
appellate level would become bogged down. The grand jury is
really an investigative body tasked with determining if there's a problematic
cause for the defendant.
Faced against him.
Nothing
Yeah,
the grand
so-
jury has any hearing or ultimate questions of the defendant's guilt or
There you go.
For these reasons, defendant motions for permission to appeal is denied. What's the next page, though, Pia?
It's the.
It's just there. Oh, good. Take that off.
It's more on the last page, but it's not.
Yeah, let's see.
Appeals denied.
This is the first one. Okay, this is an ongoing criminal prosecution for the 4 counts of murder in the first degree and the 1 count of burglary. The murders were committed over a year ago on November 13th, 2022. Defendant Bryan Kohberger was charged with the crimes on December 30th of 2022 and has been in custody since that time. Although the trial was originally scheduled for the beginning of October 2023, on August 23rd of 2023, defendant waived his right to a speedy trial and has moved to continue the jury trial to a later date to provide adequate time for him to challenge the grand jury's indictments, among other things. The grand jury's indictments.
I found it.
This is the
I found it.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. Say it.
All right. I'm not reading the whole thing because it's a lot, but I'm gonna go back to the part. So it says, while the appellate court reviews the grand jury proceedings, causing even further delay and gain to the defendant, even assuming a permissive appeal is granted by the appellate court and the appellate court rules in the defendant's favor, is de minimis, as the state has stated that charges would immediately be refiled. State differently, like the likelihood of defendant being released from custody, even if the indictment were dismissed by a higher court, is essentially non-existent. Boom. That's what it is. Sorry. Boom. I said boom. There you go.
Say it one more time, but just kind of slow down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Let me these words sink into this.
Yeah. All right. So, is that really what it is, Tony? I got you, brother. No worries. No worries. All right. Here we go.
So fast.
All right. So even assuming a permissive appeal is granted by the appellate court and the appellate court rules in the defendant's favor is de minimis, as the state has stated that charges would immediately be refiled.
Refiled. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Stated
Would immediately be refiled, is what you just said?
they would, yeah, they would refile the charges immediately.
I expected that.
So, stated differently, the likelihood of defendant being released. Oh, wait a minute, I jumped the sentence now, damn it. Would immediately be refiled. The stated differently, the likelihood of defendant being released from custody, even if the indictment were dismissed by a higher court, is essentially non-existent. So even if they take this
court, what do they mean the higher court would be non-existent?
Because if they take this to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court says, you know, they dismiss the indictment, they're saying that he's not going to be released.
Yeah, they'll just recharge him. They'll refile him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
That part, but the way they worded it was like, damn, really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's essentially non-existent. Okay, then.
I can't wait.
That's interesting,
I
David.
can't wait to
Thank you.
see Bill Thompson's face when they say not guilty.
Right. What did you say, man? Again, I didn't hear what she said up top there. What'd you say?
Oh, I said, thank you, Dago. That's really interesting. And,
Oh,
and then I
yeah,
was laughing at what Tommy said.
Yeah, as soon as I caught
Tommy's
that,
goofy right now.
I read it twice and I was like, really? That's kind of great.
I'm going to go back and read that again. Thank you, Dago. I don't know how I missed that before.
Well, at least you read it. I couldn't read it.
Thank God I found it. I'm surprised. What page was that on, by the way?
Yeah, I understand what they're saying though. If it goes to the higher court and they dismiss it, they're just going to refile immediately, and he's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the indictment were dismissed by the Supreme Court, basically is essentially non-existent. So,
what?
But okay, let's say they did that. Let's say they did that. Let's say that the Supreme Court throws it out, right? And they refile right away. Then they're going to have to go to the pretrial hearing, though.
Yeah.
hopefully they would have to do the preliminary. Then I agree.
They have to do that preliminary.
Oh god. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, I understand that they're going to continue refiling. Okay.
Right.
The way it caught me though when I read it today, it was just like they're basically saying it sounds like
he's not going anywhere.
He ain't going nowhere, folks. That's it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he says on his end too, he's going to not stop appealing.
Oh, of course. They said the other day in that hearing, which that hearing was a circus. I'm sorry, but
it was ridiculous.
It was. It said it told a whole story by itself, obviously, but this could go on for the next 28 years, and it absolutely could. It absolutely could. So
yeah, because if it's not him, if he didn't kill anybody and he didn't have any involvement, they ruined his life. Like, how's he supposed to go in here? My name is Bryan Kohberger.
He's gonna own Moscow, man.
Anybody else in here agree that if he were to get off on a technicality by some change, or they prove that he's innocent, right? Do you think that they're gonna reinvestigate this?
No.
They can't, right?
It's not gonna happen. Not against him. I mean against anybody else. They won't.
Oh no, I don't think so.
They're not gonna
So all the people that we know the characters, we all know it.
Right.
All of us right here, all five of us know, and so does the family out there. We all know the characters. Not one of them will be charged.
It's been over a year now. Anybody that may possibly still be involved is gone. They're out. They're gone.
Right.
Yeah, they'll be graduated by the time it's done anyway.
It's over. At that point, they put so much money into this. They're not going to drop anymore, and it's going to end up being.
They'll never admit they were wrong. They'll never admit they were wrong.
And
I also don't agree necessarily that his life is totally ruined if he's found innocent. I mean, could you imagine like the clout you have to carry if you were accused of like a quadruple murder and you beat that thing?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it can
His
go
life
one of two ways.
is
Like,
gone.
he'll be the most famous guy in the world, or
Right.
the most
He has
hated.
friends now. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll definitely have to have security guard.
I just walk around going boo every time I cross somebody.
You got the same kind of humor I do. That's like when who was it? When Ronald Reagan was president, and they said, "Do you ever get the feeling that George Bush is going hides and then jumps around the corner going boo?"
Oh damn, Tommy! Yeah. Yeah, they're not gonna put any more money into this. It'll go cold, and the only person that I think I can see working this case would be Steve Gonsalves, and he won't quit.
Yeah. He has a private investigator though, doesn't he?
He's got a couple, from what I understand.
Yeah. I wonder if they have any of the stuff from the phone.
I mean,
the only thing I can see is like Idaho's Department of Justice. Maybe there might be some young guy that takes office someday and goes, you know what, we're gonna solve this shit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I wish they would, because I don't think that one. I mean, I think one person could have done this, but I'm not convinced that Bryan is that person. So
they haven't showed us anything to prove that he was in that house. There's no
right.
way.
So whoever did this, or whomever the group is that did this, they're just walking around. Like, how is that okay? They're just wandering around.
It's not.
And
yeah.
And
I just find it.
at some point, there's going to be some carcasses laying in front of people's doors again, too.
Well, when something like this happens again, then maybe they'll say, hey, maybe we should have looked here, or maybe we should have done this or done that.
They'll be forced their hand.
Exactly. They'll have no choice at that time.
Yeah.
I just hope, I pray that they have him on video, at least parking in the back or on the side or something, and they see him go in.
Something.
Right.
Yes, I agree. I do agree.
Now, I don't think he's guilty, but if they show me something, I'll be the first one to say, okay, I was wrong about everything.
That's where we're all at.
People,
Yep.
so honest. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, the only reason I say that is because you guys are very specific in your PCA, and you say that you see him attempt to park in front of the house. So how do you not see him park when the deed is going to be done?
Yep.
And at least
Or how do you not see him come out of the house afterwards, or anything? You
But
know what I mean?
that looked more like the DoorDash driver for a place. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about all that shit.
or a getaway driver.
Or a
There you
getaway
go.
driver.
Go.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things AR said when I remember when he first started, or I first started seeing him covering the Idaho 4, is he talked about how a criminal's mind would plan this. And a getaway driver was like emphatically something he talked about in that one video. Of course, it would be a different situation than
There would be a getaway driver if it was somebody not in that clan, that group of people. But I think it's somebody in that group of people where they live close by. I don't think anybody in those cars had anything to do with it.
I don't think there was a car. I don't
think so
a car
either.
at all. I think whoever was on foot, and that was the end of it.
Yep. At 3:15, that person walking from Linda Lane to 1122 at 3:15 a.m.
Are you talking about from the dumpster?
That's one.
Oh, the dumpster.
No. Right. That Linda Lane, that main one from Linda Lane.
Yeah.
At 3:15, if you look in the corner and you blow it up, you see a guy walking, and he goes down and he goes towards 1122.
Okay, so I'm
telling you, that's at least one of them right there. I know that's one of them.
So if you're talking about 3:15 a.m., what's crazy is the guy that comes up from the dumpster. If you put the two together, he walks on through Linda Lane. But the craziest part about it, in my opinion, is when he gets to that like pylon at the end of that fence, he takes off running like a bat out of hell towards the house.
Yep.
That's a dumpster.
And then you see
Linda
somebody.
Lane has a lot to do with it, and I wish people would investigate it more. Even if I'm wrong on the Fight Club stuff, you know, or whatever, but that's what we seen. Even if I'm wrong on there's, you know, everybody investigated Banfield and Grubchuck, but they like stay away from Linda Lane. And I think that's you know, they're all part of each other. You know what I mean? I think they're all connected. I really do. I think they're all connected.
I think if I were Ann Taylor and I saw somebody run to their car at 421, right within the time frame that you
Right.
got,
Yeah. Jumping that black SUV head first. Allegedly innocent was the first one I remember that actually. I don't know if you've seen that video or not, and she had different colors, you know, different filters, and you can see that person running, and you can tell it's a female with long hair, and she jumps into that back of that black SUV head first.
That's
I've never seen that, Tony.
That's weird because when we were watching it, remember that first time you thought that there was two people, like someone got in the back.
That's what I thought. That somebody got in the back seat of the black SUV, and then
they jumped head first into the back seat.
Well,
yeah,
I know that's what she and I were looking at in the beginning when we first started looking at it, and then I think the more we looked at it, we were like, we were convinced that it wasn't but one person. Because I do remember that thinking, no, somebody got in the back, but then we looked at it a little closer, and she did her thing to it, and I'm like, no, it's just that one person gets in the front.
But they're in a hoodie, and I do agree. I think it looks like a female.
It does. To me,
It
I
is
agree.
a female.
A blonde, long blonde hair is what I saw.
Yeah, I pretty much know who it is, and I think most people do know who it is. And then in the front seat, passenger side, is a dog. You can see the dog. Yeah,
I couldn't see it clear enough to see any more than just that person. It was
People have brought this up to me, and I didn't know what they were talking about before. I know who that. Yeah, I'm gonna take another look at that just so I can.
And go to Allegedly Innocent, because she's got 2 videos that are really allegedly innocent. She's got the best videos on that. I mean, you can see it. You can see the driver sitting there. You can see that there's a dog moving. That's why the person didn't jump in the front seat, is because that dog was in the front seat. She only had one place to go, and that was that back seat. Then you see the guy on the other side in the back seat have one of those fucking lights on his forehead. Yeah, one of those. Allegedly Innocent. It's the best.
Allegedly Innocent. Yeah, we should all check that out then. I'll check it out. Unfortunately, though, I got to get going because my dog needs to go to the bathroom.
I got to go to town. I got to wake up and go to town, man.
Thank you,
Tommy.
This was a great show for your first show, and thank you so much for having me up here. I appreciate it so very much.
Yeah, anytime, Dave. Anytime you want to come up. All of you,
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It was a good first stream. I like it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Are we going to roll credits, though?
Yeah.
We're going to roll some credits for our paid subscribers. I mean, members. I'm new, sorry.
Awesome.
God bless
Thank
all
you all so much.
We gotta figure this out, guys.
It's just not right because
That's pretty cool.
That was great.
Good work, Bob. Good work, Bob.
That was great. I love that.
He's trying to keep it weird, you guys. That's all.
I
love you guys.
Well, I gotta call you tomorrow about a show.
Yep.
About something. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, call us tomorrow. Anytime is great.
Yep. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Guys, Tommy, everybody.
See you, my family that's out there. Love you.